Oh, what's up? Welcome back. Brandon just caught me just doing things in my hair. We're back again for another day of the playoffs, and we're getting silly with it. We're also getting serious with it, Brandon, though, because there's only 2 spots left to play for. We're going to be covering the lower bracket for the first game of the day, because all 4 lower bracket games are happening at once. And then we'll jump to the upper bracket, which are all seeding games. So the first game, elimination.
Yeah, it's going to be quite a serious mood for the first one, and then we can get a little bit goofy for the second best of 3. I think that's probably the best way to do it, Lucy. You're right. As we saw 4 teams progress through yesterday immediately, which is really exciting. There's a lot of sort of expected results. I think France making it through was a very expected one. The Spain-Portugal game was really exciting, and Spain actually were able to beat Portugal in a free map affair, so they're qualified through as well. Obviously, Team Poland made it through, and Team Sweden. So they're the 4 teams, obviously joining the Netherlands because they won the IESF 2023 championship last year. And now we need to just be on the hunt for 2 more countries representing their regions all over in Riyadh towards the end of the year. And we're going to kick things off with Portugal versus Slovakia. That's going to be a very interesting game. But I guess before we get into that, we can speak a little bit more about yesterday, because we saw some really good Counter-Strike. We obviously saw in the lower bracket as well, Team Denmark taking on Team Belgium. And Team Denmark looked really good. I was really impressed with sort of the youngsters on that team. I think they both stepped up massively. I think Anya as well on Inferno was just excellent. But I guess outside of any of the results I've just mentioned, Lucy, were there any surprises for you outside of that Spain one, maybe?
Yeah, I think that one's probably the biggest surprise. I think everything else more or less went to the script when you kind of look at those matchups. It's good to see, teams like Poland, Sweden, France just coming through and playing the Counter-Strike you'd expect from them. They come in as hands down the favorite teams. It's not even a comparison. And I think there's a bit of a jump then from those top 3 to everyone else. Spain, as you mentioned, has been a surprise. We can take a look at the highlights from yesterday. So we'll run those back while we talk through those games, which means those upper bracket games are actually going to be super exciting. This one versus Romania was actually interesting. Romania could have won this first map. The second map was all Sweden all the way, but we could see kind of signs of what Romania have, the potential there, and I wouldn't be surprised if they can make this lower bracket run work, because I think they've got a fairly favorable second round game. It's when they have to go up against either Czech Republic or Denmark that it could get a little scary for them. But overall, I was actually quite impressed with Romania. It wasn't just Anna and Melly, and I think that was the key thing.
Yeah, no, I think you mentioned it yesterday, but I'll bring attention to it right now. I was impressed with Alexa, a player I haven't really covered too much in the women's scene, and I think she really held her own. I also thought Ratons was really good. We saw a showcase of Ratons in Yash last year, and I think for these players, it's a lot more of like individual firepower, kind of barreling them through across the line rather than like methodical sort of like CS, which we definitely saw out of Sweden, especially on this second map. We saw it a lot yesterday as well for Team Denmark as well when they went up against Belgium. So you're right. I think when Romania get to that point, that's where it's going to be a little bit tricky. But they got the best player in the world, so surely they should be in good hands, right?
Exactly. All the individuals are there. It's just kind of making it work. And Sweden was always going to be a tough opponent, because you're just going up against one of the best IGLs kind of in the game, right?
Yeah.
And such a tenured player. So not to mention all the just individual talent on that Sweden roster. Like, it's not just Giuliano and Zaz. M-Stan had a lot of really impactful rounds. You were quick to praise her for the high impact of her kills, even though wasn't at the top of the scoreboard. The kills she got were huge in the sequence of things. And in fact, Nia, I was also impressed with, just consistently kind of tugging along. So yeah, good squad. For Belgium versus Denmark, Belgium, they needed to win Anubis, and they probably could have if they won either pistol round. But unfortunately, they had such slow starts to both of the halves. The way they got into the game was great, though, with the ninja defuse from Moraltis. And then that was able to kind of inspire something. And they actually put together a pretty good CT half after that. It just came a little bit too late. And they needed to win Anubis to take that series to Ancient.
Yeah, no, they really did. And I think that you hit the nail on the head. It was the pistol rounds that really were the downfall, ultimately. Because in MR12, in CS2, you can't not well, you can't not lose every single pistol. Like it's impossible to have a say in the series unless your gun rounds are absolutely sublime. And it's a shame because there are some moments of brilliance. Moraltis in particular on Anubis was just fantastic. And then we move over towards Inferno and it was a blowout. I don't want to take that away from Team Denmark. It was, but Enzi played well. I think Kelly V showed us what she was capable of too in a number of these rounds. And for Inferno, it felt like for Team Belgium there was a lot of nearly rounds, but you can't have nearly rounds, especially when you're already a map down. It's not your pick, and you just kind of get destroyed. This highlight clip in particular, this map of Inferno, this one's going to be quite fast because that's kind of the way the game went.
So we've got some new knowledge now about Denmark, which I think is really interesting. So the Astralis have announced their new roster for the women's roster, and KitKat is part of that team. So that actually changes. We were assuming Ramsden was calling on this team, but actually now I'm starting to think it must be KitKat, right? Because she's taken over that IGL role on Astralis. So this is actually a really good testing ground for her. New in that role, wasn't calling on Guild, so I don't think so. Anyway, yeah, this is going to be really, really interesting to kind of see how Denmark goes further when you now have 3 core members from the Astralis playing together.
I'll go one step further then, and I'll build on that point. It's even more exciting that we're getting Ramsden performing at this level, because if we're getting this Ramsden performing nationally, with the sort of the high ceiling with this AWPin, that gets me really excited for when we move back just into ESL Impact to see what she can do with NIP, because I know she's not IGLing over there anymore. So if this is what she looks like when she's just focusing on a crosshair, that's a very scary team.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Denmark definitely an interesting one to be keeping an eye on. In terms of how the bracket plays out, the lower games, that will all be taking place. In fact, let's just tell you what games we're covering, and then I'll tell you about what other games are going on. Let's take a look at that schedule. Our first game is going to be in that lower bracket. So it is going to be Portugal versus Slovakia, which is a really exciting one. Then we're back to Sweden later, and that's going to be a clash of the Titans. Sweden taking on Poland, who are, of course, the Na'Vi Javelins roster. And the other lower bracket games that are going on at the same time as this one are going to be Serbia versus Norway, Romania versus Turkey, and Czech Republic versus Denmark, as mentioned. I think that Czech Republic-Denmark one's going to be probably the second most interesting, but I'm really excited to see both Portugal and Slovakia because on paper, particularly Portugal, should be a phenomenal team. But they're having some struggles. They lost to Spain. They had a couple of hiccups in the group stage. And this Slovakian squad, again, we've got 2 incredibly talented players in Zia and Kat. So there's reasons for both of them to be expected to go far, but only one of them can get through.
Yeah, and it's a shame because we are losing potentially some very big names at this stage in the competition. I mean, you've spoken about Kat and Zia. For Portugal, it's Zana, it's D7. Like these players have got a rich history in the women's scene, and they've been sort of towards the upper echelons of ESL Impact over the last couple of years, and now we're putting them against each other. And the fact that it is Portugal versus Slovakia for an elimination game is quite puzzling to me, because it just goes to show obviously the level of the competition we've got when it comes to all the countries competing. But this for an elimination game and not for like a qualification game is a little bit worrying, to be honest. I don't think either of these countries would have thought they would be in this position.
Yeah, and for Slovakia, it was a little bit of a rough kind of run through the groups, because I kind of felt that they could have done better, but they also had a pretty tough draw of things in a group with France, a group with Czech Republic, even Bulgaria were looking really good. In terms of how Slovakia performed, as expected, we're able to take wins over the teams you'd think, like Ukraine and Turkey and Austria, but they struggled against Bulgaria. They actually lost to them. That was a really close game. It was one we covered on stream. I think it came down to 1 or 2 rounds, so really, really close, and could have probably put them in better steading. You know, they maybe could have gone straight to the upper bracket if they've been able to scrape that win there. So they have to do it the hard way. Portugal, we can take a look at that roster. As you mentioned, there's a couple of stars, a couple of well-known names. I think the cool thing about this team is it's the kind of reuniting of the OG Bigger Keeper squad, right? We got D7, we got Zana, we got Ida in the mix. And I think what was really cool about that team when they disbanded, obviously no one likes to disband, but when they went their separate ways, right? When some of the individuals left, both Ida and D7 went to different teams, right? Went to Enzathena and went to Guild, and the other way around, but each of them ended up performing considerably better in their new teams. So
Yeah.
when I saw this team on paper with these 3 players, I was like, hell yes, we've got 2 empowered new players, and we've got Zana, who is a superstar. This team's just going to absolutely destroy. But it's been some struggles.
Yeah, there has been, and it hasn't felt like Portugal's run really should be the way it is. I think that's a fair assessment because you're right. These really high caliber players. You've got Yun, you've got Katie Jones as well that we've got to kind of throw into the mix as well. But it's felt like it has really been just sort of these 3 players trying to carry the rest of the team through. And that can also be the same for Slovakia, right? If we take a look at their lineup, we've already spoken about Zia, we've already spoken about Kat. The other names that join them, Matthew, Salty Patty, and Nikki. But it very much is just the case of the 2 players at the top for Slovakia that is really doing the damage and like making these rounds even possible. I think you were saying yesterday, and I think you could probably build on it again, Lucy, the fact that Kat was thrown into so many of these situations, especially in the group stage where she had to clutch, she had to go above and beyond, and more often than not, she was. But now we're in a playoffs berth, and I know she's one of the best players we've got in the world. I know she's one of the most decorated players in ESL Impact because she's won absolutely everything. But with the pressure on, and with not the same individuals around her, can she do it again?
Yeah, and the thing for Slovakia is that we're talking about this and the pressure and the difficulty of their run. They're one of the hardest groups, and they could have topped it, right? Their 2 losses. One was to Bulgaria, right? The one I said they should have won, one we covered on stream. 13-11 loss. They also lost to France, 13-11. 2 games against France, who's like probably the best team here outside Poland, and couldn't just get it over the line. And that's really haunting them because it means that they've now had to do this lower bracket run. And I think the player I'm looking at to step up, obviously we expect Kat to perform at a high level. But the player we think we need to step up, who has that expectation, is Zia. Obviously, we didn't cover all the games from them during the week, but from the game I saw, wasn't kind of at the same level as Kat, and she's a player that you kind of expect to be because she is this real up-and-coming talent, right? So young and with such a high ceiling that kind of have a lot of expectations on her, and in this environment, she's kind of needed to frag out because you've got some of the kind of unknown members of the team, like Murphy, who are actually playing really well. I want to highlight her as well because I was really impressed what I saw from her, but Zia's the one that I'm looking at for this series.
All right, cool. Well, we know the players. Let's take a look at the maps. And well, after yesterday, and after what you told me on the group stage, I'm kind of expecting
Ancient
Band.
Similar. Okay. Ancient Band.
But,
not that we got to cast it yesterday, but you know.
But Dust 2. So Mirage, Dust 2, Anubis. We've got 2 out of 3 of the, I guess, holy trinity of maps that constantly get picked. But it does mean we get to see something a little bit different here. And to be honest, I take a look at this and I think, okay, well, Dust 2, a map that I know Entertainer don't mind playing. I also know Beekeeper don't mind playing. I'm not sure whether Guild had it in their plans, but I think it all kind of goes into the wheelhouse of Portugal. I think it's a fair assessment right now. Potentially, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the individuals on Portugal should be stronger overall than the individuals of Slovakia. So going on these puggy maps, I think it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. No, I think it's definitely the right draft for Portugal, right? Pick and Dust 2. It's a map that all these individuals are just going to thrive on. Yeah, you look at the aimers on this team, players like D7, and you look at the AWPers. I do think actually that there is a chance that if Zia does step up, right, that she could be more impactful in the 7 than Zana. Because it felt to me that Zana was a little absent in some of the games. I obviously didn't watch all the games, so I'm being very general from what I saw. But the Portugal game I saw, it wasn't Zana. It was all D7. In fact, it was very similar to Slovakia, where it was one player doing everything. We had D7 and we had Kat. So for both these teams, it needs to be more than just D7 and Kat.
Yeah, no, for sure it does. I'll tell you what, the Ancient Ban actually surprises me a little bit because, again, I know all the players on Portugal, they said the core that we constantly keep talking about, some of the best maps are Ancient. So the fact that they actually go and ban it straight away maybe is showing a little bit of a reservation because you are playing against Kat on that map.
Yeah,
You're also playing against Zia. And remember, Zia and Ida are teammates, so they're going to know roughly how each other are going to play. So now you take it to sort of somewhat unknown territory with Dust 2. I don't know. I'm clutching at straws here, but I'm just trying to figure out why potentially they might have banned Ancient.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think also Slovakia's best showings have been on Ancient. It's where they almost beat France. It's where they almost beat Bulgaria. You know, it's where they were taking on the best teams and finding success. So I think, yeah, it's probably an intentional ban just to not give them that map that they're comfortable on, force them to pick into something else. And Mirage, you know, if you assume that's going to be their kind of second strongest map, that's one that everyone's really comfortable on, and certainly the players on this Portuguese roster. So we kick it off. Elimination on the line, and in fact, a spot in Riyadh, what these two teams are fighting for. Slovakia versus Portugal, kicking off on Mirage.
Yeah, let's get into it then. Portugal obviously starting on that CT side. Slovakia immediately out the gate, it's just going to be an A pop. And there are 3 players reinforcing this from Portugal. It's going to be a brawl, and potentially the pistol round could be decided in the next 10-15 seconds.
Okay, D7, close. You're under Shadow. Katie Jones not too far away. Zia from the Palace. Not going to be first contact. It's D7 swinging out for a double. And 2 more for the CTs. This one not quite working out. And Cat left to pick up the pieces. Can't get a single shot off. They try and go for an execute out the gate, and Portugal have everyone there.
Yeah, I tell you what, there's a little bit of a delay there for Slovakia. Right idea with what they want to do, right? It's the smokes, deep connector. They want to scale in towards jungle. That's the idea of this entire execute. With that flash coming over and blinding D7 over at default, you need the player Palace coming out. The player Palace can't be the second point of contact on that execute. Needs to be the first, going with the utility, and then that allows Slovakia to scale in towards jungle. But D7 completely unaffected, so's Katie Jones, and it is a delightful shutdown for Team Portugal.
It's a fun little setup. D7 and Zana layering. So when these players swing out, they're going to meet 2 M4s on the other side. And you imagine... Oh, this is like what happened earlier to Sweden. They've almost lost both of them. Ewan's going to step in and help things out. So those angles a little bit more favorable. Oh, Zana, you should have thrown the M4 out. No, silly. Well, that's lost forever. So that ends up kind of costly. They lose an M4.
Yeah. A little bit costly, but Ewan got 3 or 4 kills there, so could drop one over. It's okay. But you're right. If Zana just throws the M4 out the window, then they can just not have to invest. Good recovery, though. I think that's the most important thing there for Portugal. They recovered it. It didn't get crazy. It didn't get too turbulent. But Slovakia have now got all the AKs in play, and they've got a decent amount of utility. Fighting for mid early are both of these teams. Casey Jones is going to be locking down A primarily. Going to keep our eyes on her to see all the pressure for Slovakia. But currently, no one is really doing anything. It's a very slow default. They're just trying to feel each other out.
Yeah, you can see both teams completely spread. It's like it's a line of blue and a line of yellow. Thankfully, Zana didn't go down in the previous round. How active is Kat's going to be? That's what I'm most interested in seeing. She might be given some rain to lurk in middle. As off the initial default, Slovakia spot very little. Portugal just playing their pauses. There will be a move back from Slovakia to enter A.
There's not much utility here to really defend this. There's no smokes for Portugal. It's just flashbangs with the utility flying over. Again, it's another tuck right in towards default. Counter flash is brilliant from Yun, and Katie Jones is able to get 2 kills. That is massive. Now the rotations can come over. D7's dealt with Cat in middle, and suddenly it's a 4-on-2. In fact, make it even worse. Now it's just Nikki trying to survive with 30 seconds. Gun barrel spotted on the first, but there are too many players. That one flashbang sets Katie Jones up for success.
Yeah, and it's the exact same problem we saw in the pistol round, right? Where's that swing from Palace? Katie Jones able just to fight here constantly the whole time, and Murphy's just too late. She does get the kill, but she's already lost 2 teammates at that point, and with Cat falling in middle, that was the other kind of critical fight. D7 wins that one, so there's no support coming to disrupt these defenders, and that one falls awry. Slovakia not getting the bomb down at all yet either.
Well, I apologize as well. I think it's Catty Jones, and I think it's Katarina. So sorry. I'm going to nip that in the bud now, because that's definitely my influence. Which has fallen, actually. Tech 9 out. Palace push. A lot of players out and a lot of players dead. Zana cleans up 4. That is huge. Looking for the ace, and she'll grab it. Easy shutdown. It's good to see Zana stepping up.
Yeah, nice to see Zana hitting the ground running, 8-0. I had yet to even be needed, 0-0, but such has been the map so far. This little eco ace for Zana. Want to have her confident, firing on all cylinders as she gets out the AWP. Zia has the spawn for middle. So this could be the key opening engagement if she's given that fight in middle. The swing and the flashbang's perfect, disrupts her line of fire.
Yeah, smoking con means that Yun hasn't got any info in towards mid, and where the double boost came in towards apps, that means that Portugal are a little bit worried, which is why the extremity push is coming in. Ida is now going to clear B and deem it's not clear. Yun re-smokes, or in fact, it goes a little bit further than anticipated. This should still be okay. Double setup in towards Con feels pretty nice. Yun ahead of this utility, taking the first shot and finding it on towards Cat, and now D7 can spring up, but not required right now.
Zia catches Ida on the lurk. Got very active with Zana holding the deep line with the AWP. Ida was enabled to go forward, and Nikki catches D7 getting interested. Zana's AWP fires off. So 2-3, Slovakia in the best position they've been in a moment. As long as you don't give Zana chances, especially in towards middle, where she is looking for this fight. Patty Jones does rotate to ticket, so she'll be in the right place. They're separated from a teammate. You just see that jump up about to happen, and you can visualize Zana hitting the shot. In fact, you don't need to visualize it. It's right on your screen in front of you. And that's put it into a 2-on-2.
Oh. I thought that spam had actually denied. Look at this from Zia. Huge advancement. Tries to dodge the flash, and she does, but goes straight into the bullet of Zana, and suddenly Matthew left all alone. Just versus the AWP. A wallbang, a spin on the flash, but it's the AK that prevails. That's a really important round for Slovakia. It always felt like they're in control. Zana tries her best, but it's not enough.
Big round from Matthew. This fray in middle doesn't quite work out. Zia heads up, and Nikki aware of D7's push. Zana tries her hardest with a couple of nice, well, 3 nice kills. That's a really fast, quick shot. But Mavi is the player I mentioned in the pregame, has really been remarkable for this team. That third player alongside Zia and Kat, who's been stepping up and is necessary because Kat yet to even frag. Nikki again, winning the 5 vs D7.
Yeah, I think the 2-on-1 there for Portugal is really an example of what happened just all in that round for the CT side. Very individual. 2-on-1, they could have just grouped up together. Big fight here out mid, but Yun goes straight into Matthew's crosshair, and so does Ida. That is massive. Zana misses the chance to at least get one back, but B is completely open. This should be a save. This should be a round win immediately for Slovakia.
Zana getting that kill, is that can interest her? No, they're going to be a little bit more disciplined than that. So she'll just try and survive. That round's just individual fights being won out. Bit of a brawl in middle. Portugal try and wrestle back control with a little play through the smoke, flash over, but it's always a bit of a gamble, bit of a 50-50 as to which way you try and fight from that one, and doesn't work out for the CTs. Mafi continuing to be an absolute menace, and that's going to be massive for this team.
Just these mid fights are not going well for Team Portugal whatsoever. It feels like, look, they're trying to achieve good things where it comes to fighting for mid with utility, but you're only sending one player to really crunch on it. You see here the delay with Yun and Ida swinging together. The flashbang's a little bit late as well. Matthew hits some incredible shots, of course, which means the trade's denied. It just feels like everything is a little bit off kilter by maybe about half a second, even less. Zana this time going aggressive under with the AWP. Going to go toe-to-toe with one. Missed shot. That'll be the end of her. Salty Patty will claim the opening kill, and Slovakia have got 3 opening kills in the last 3 rounds.
Cat's having a rough start to this one, though. So Portugal did a good job of locking down one of the stars. Without Zana, they lose theirs. Looking like Slovakia want to move back to A. Oh, Matthew, she heard those footsteps. That's a very fast run back to ticket. Portugal gamble to the B side. Going to be the wrong read on the situation. Caddy Jones going to have a lot on her shoulders, but D7's going to clear this very soon. And that will allow those rotations. So Slovakia need to get a move on, and they start to strike. Utility over the top. Zia spots that ticket player. Smoke in jungle. The rotations are fast to CT. Bomb isn't down. There is time to work with. And utility, they can lock off this position. A smoke, a flash, something just to give them room to get this bomb down.
Look at the flank. The observers caught it as well. D7 right in the back lines. As long as the CT players just start adding a little bit of pressure, no one's going to be considering this. D7 starts to make a move, and she got them all lined up. 3, but Matthew, in the meantime, has dealt with the rest of her team. It's a one-on-one. D7, Salty Patty, and Salty Patty's right in the open. D7's not ready. I said that Portugal needed to stay alive, and that didn't happen whatsoever. Despite the backstab, Slovakia is still running away with the round.
It was the perfect timing. That's such a beautiful spray from D7. Like, what a crazy triple kill from her, but it just wasn't enough. Everything looked like it could have been there. But D7 can't do it all alone. And with losing Zana so early, felt like she had to. That's completely broken Portugal. Slovakia are about to equalize. That's without Cat online.
And that's important, because the moment Cat gets online, it starts to get even worse, potentially, for Team Portugal. Although, Yun, that's a nice shot. And she's found another. Hang on a second. This is getting a little bit out of hand. And they're looking for the third with the Deagle, but there strikes Cat. But it might not even matter. It's a 4-on-3.
Oh, dear.
That's
D7.
so nice.
That's a crazy shot, and this is going to be heard. They can get here quickly to try and support. The AWP picked up in D7's hands. Doesn't matter that there's no armor. She can try and hit the shots. Ida gets hers. Oh, onto Nikki. Smoke lands. Bray not finding the kill. They're just trying to overwhelm, trying to run her down. She's stuck at the back of the site, but such little HP on these CTs. Could have been a chance. But it's the pistols. This was meant to be the freebie. And like so many rounds that we saw yesterday, Portugal pull one out the hat.
Look at these shots. Just so much pressure being applied here from short. And why I was saying that was nice, not only the shot, obviously D7 being taking away the life of Cat there or on towards chair, but it was Zana running underneath. They had this up-down. Cat didn't know where to pull her crosshair. So it was guaranteeing the kill. And just like that, you can then recover the rifles in towards mid. You can then bring them over towards B. You can lock them out. No bomb plant. No nothing. It has to be MAC-10s. It has to be AKs here for Slovakia.
That's going to be one of those rounds that might be looking back on in their nightmares later on. Tipping point. Especially if this one falls flat. Portugal quickly run away with this half. 2 MAC-10s. To try and do something punchy. Indeed, we will see a group up to A. Looking like a hit straight out the gate. Are going to be 3 players present. So plenty of defenders.
I like Zana's angle here. Pretty much right at the back of ticket, which means the rifles will be a little bit more flexible on the site. There goes the first wave of utility, and they haven't run out yet. Now they will with these flashbangs. Zana gets the first. Again, from default, that's always been the problem point here for Slovakia. But with Zana being overwhelmed, surely you can deal with the rifles on the site, and you can. Slovakia have made it in. They can at least put the bomb down.
Bruce, though. A lot of low HP players, and that's a big kill. D7 falls. You could see the moment if D7 was able to strike with all these players so low. The multi-frag potential was there. Ida gets one. It's definitely way into this. They got the money after that free round before, so why not give it a look in? Kit on Ida's back. After hearing this player, it stares Zia ready to swing off contact, so a decent post plant set up, but Ida caught, spammed out. Zia swings forward, and Zia gets both. Easy enough for Slovakia. After losing the pistols, they bounce back immediately.
Where I was praising Portugal's counter utility before in some of these earlier rounds, there just wasn't any of it here. It was Zana taking the contact. She's the one that even finds the opening kill. But then off that, just looks to re-swing. Looks to get involved. But that should be when she's pulling out a flashbang, throwing it over the top of CT and getting the players on default activated. Instead, it's all individuals. Slovakia do a really good job after losing the opening kill to bounce back, get that bomb site, and then set up a really competent afterplant. There was no way through for Portugal after that. And Mafi is sick. Such a good player.
Yeah, honestly, has just been the real shining star for this team. And will be tested. Stands up for one with the spray. All dealt with. So a rifle that can be picked up. Zana's orb lies in wait. Perfect position as they creep around. Doesn't get the kill. Peeks back in and Cat strikes. And they've spotted this player over towards the corner. Ida drops the smoke, just trying to stay alive for that rotation. She's going to look for that fight onto the edge of it, and she's just blown out the server. Cat arrives in explosive fashion. 3 kills for her, and that's the round.
I don't get it. There's slowly starting to see these mistakes being creeping in for Team Portugal. Zana gets a tag and just re-swings dry. They know exactly that you're there now. That there's no need to swing into 2 players completely empty. No, furthermore, Ida gets spotted. She drops that smoke. She doesn't try and drop it again. Another flash just into the site to move away, to reposition. Maybe even just go on top of the truck. Try and find an outlet. Try and take something with you. Try and deny time to get the rotations over. But it was a lovely set play from Slovakia. As soon as they get the contact on Zana, they accelerate. They use their utility to deal with Ida at the back of the site. And Cat coming online is everything. That's what you said. If you get her active, she's going to become a little bit more scary. That was 3 kills in the round. Suddenly, Slovakia have equalized the scoreline.
Yeah, 5-5, and Cat and Zia both on 4 kills. So Slovakia's team play and the other individuals are stepping up while these stars come online. Just don't stumble over this one. You've already had one of these rounds. 2 would be unforgivable. This one's a little bit more bolstered as well with that AK. Brandon, if your team's like this in Face It, right? Someone's got the saved AK, they've got the kit, they've got all the util, and you've got 4 players with, what, 2.5? What's the call? What would you do?
It's one of those where you just kind of use your utility to try and set the pistols up. Like, go for a pop play, like, in towards ramp. That's where they've been finding a lot of success before. Maybe just go in towards mid and swing off one flash. The important thing is that they just do it together. I don't mind. I quite like the fact that you've got Catty leading, and then Yun's going to go in behind to try and guarantee the trade, but that spacing is just so rough. That's not good enough.
A little early as well, because D7's on this leg, and yeah, she's just going to be caught. So,
but all the utility just wasn't thrown.
Yeah, he could have popped that flash down, right?
You could have even thrown the utility to a pistol player if you want to go for a play like that where you're guaranteeing your rifles to try and trade. I don't know. There were so many different ways to play that. But that's what they went with.
Okay. Doesn't work out. Slovakia take the lead. And, you know, considering how this game started, it really feels like they're the ones that are in the driver's seat. It's their map pick, of course. So, I guess worth noting that, but...
That's true, but given just how the game was looking, it felt like Portugal were in control. They were setting themselves up with utility. It felt a lot more cohesive. And in the last couple of rounds, it's really felt like it's fallen apart. This is better. Fighting in towards mid. You don't need to progress past this point. You do not need to swing, which is exactly what Team Portugal were doing. Yun is responsible for under. D7 can take the contact, and you got this up-down. Yun should not be swinging here. But at least D7 can clean up. That's the bomb dropped, and that makes things a little bit more tricky now for Slovakia.
Good awareness.
Uh-oh.
Huge awareness, yeah. Expecting a player to push through underpass when 2 players have been found top mid. That was the best way back in for Slovakia. But this Cat and Mafia alive. They're in the A-bomb site, which is obviously where Slovakia would have loved to have ended up. There's a lack of any element of surprise present here because Portugal have full control of middle. They know that A was the space, was the gap. HE's cool to allow the dropout, but it's all on the Cat first. It's hers. Saw a close 1v3 from her that would have won the game versus Bulgaria. Can she do one to win this half? Most of the players top and good damage. That kill, that was the one. You can see how close it got, but it's denied. And Portugal will equalize at the half, but look at that round run. Portugal had a massive 4-0 lead at the start. They win one back with pistols, but Slovakia really got on a roll.
Yeah, good round out of Portugal, though. I was a little bit critical there of Yun swinging, but it was being set up by a flashbang over at A, but the flashbang came in like 0.2 seconds late. So it's unfortunate. I understand what they're trying to do. D7 profits off it ultimately. I think 6-6. They won't be happy with it, but they'll take it if they're Portugal. If you're Slovakia, I think the rounds that you just won in a row, you're probably feeling a little bit more hard done by. Probably wanted 7, was hoping for 8 even. The 6-6 is a firm handshake. Zia now going in towards mid. Oh, had the chance, but instead it's now going to be run down by Glocks.
They're going very quickly, but there's a lot of CTs defending this B bomb site. The USPs into this choke point are going to be potent, and they are. Zia, Cat, Nikki, and Zia again. Patty Jones has 4 players to find. Don't like her chances. Sheer quantity of CTs, and it will be Slovakia taking the pistol.
Nice. Yeah, good setup here. Deep range with the USPs, funneling Portugal into the choke point. Really good communication as well from Zia. As soon as she sees a couple of bullets flying her way and then hears just all the footsteps running around the corner. They set up it in a really good spot. And the lean towards B pays off. That's Slovakia taking an important pistol. And again, we spoke about Team Belgium not winning any pistols. Slovakia, they've already done one better. So now both the pistols are shared immediately on Mirage, and for Team Portugal, they're hoping for a plant.
Might be given it, to be honest. There's only one player actually in the site. And looking the wrong way, getting run down from every direction. D7 hits hers. Bomb to be planted. HG over the top does so much damage. Almost takes down 4. The lack of armor, a huge issue. So they won't be winning this round, but they found a good objective. 1 kill, a second would be great, but don't think that's gonna... Okay, it does happen, and it's with the MP9. So overall, Portugal will be happy with the outcome.
Yeah, this is a very solid round. And also, if you notice, the way that Portugal rushed that, you take a look at the positioning of Slovakia, it felt like Mafia wasn't ready for the speed in which they got there whatsoever. Also, the player in Connect, I think it was Cat, while she does come over and she does support, does a lot of the damage, was really heavily prioritizing middle. So that's something that potentially Portugal can exploit in a few rounds if they want to. That the rush potentially could be on the cards here. I think with better weaponry and utility, could be something they elect to go towards.
Yeah, getting aggro. The MP9, a tough one at that angle. Doesn't fancy your chances.
Oh.
Yeah, these weapons aren't quite working out. Although, that's a nice little drive-by. sticking around too. And the Molotovs, oh, she's found a little gap. I wonder if that's going to give her any element of surprise. I don't think so, but she's basically locking them out of this side of the map, which is where Portugal really wanted to go.
Look at this double ramp push in the meantime. This is really good control by Slovakia. So Nikki has got this extremity. Oh. Okay. But at the same time, look at Salty Patty. Already walking in towards spawn. Portugal know that they're going to have to go mid here. So this is really good positioning, but they need to go now.
Need to rotate a player. Maffy needs to get to B. Cat's going to have to do everything and can't get it done. That was a necessary kill. Maffy might just want to leave. You save these 3 rifles. You got a nice buy into the next round. That's a little unfortunate for Slovakia. I can't believe that Nikki loses that fight on Caddy Jones.
No, I can't believe it either, but it's really good awareness from Team Portugal. Because once you figure out that Nikki's pushed really aggressively and you've got no control over towards A, well, suddenly, you know that mid is probably going to be the gap. You have to accelerate on the positioning and the space that you've got. The only source of space Portugal had in that moment was the B apartments. So that means you have to go into a B play. It was a really good decision to send it Cat, split from 2 different angles, and literally send it in towards Cat. And she couldn't do anything. It's a really important round to win on that bonus, quote unquote, because that was with MP9s in play. Now it's going to be the full investment here for Slovakia.
Yeah, I think if Slovakia had rifles in those 2 MP9 players, I mean, they might not have been in the positions they were in anyway, just because they were specifically taking aggro positions because of the MP9s, but rifles in either Zia or Nikki's hands, and they both probably get a kill apiece on that push, so I'd be happy to upgrade. I can't believe Cat gets downgraded to the MP9 of all players.
Yeah, Zia gets the ult.
This is what I was saying, right, yesterday about impact of star players. Like, Cat's on B.
Yeah. The good thing about this push from Salty Patty, at least last round, is that it wasn't spotted. So they can potentially go for it again. You see that Maffy is now interested in towards ramp. Got this setup trying to bait Cat in with the MP9. Nikki is just trying to play jump spot to sort of bait in the idea that no one else is there. But here's Maffy walking in towards spawn, and Portugal are aware of it but can't get past her, at least at the first instance. Zana will eventually get traded out, but now it's a 4-on-4, and Portugal haven't really got any map control again.
Yeah, they have a decision to make, right? You've killed this player in T spawn. Do you go to A and hope there's no rotation, or do you stick to your guns and go back to B? And looks like they want to go mid to B. It seems so. Caddy Jones and Underpass isn't going to be linked up with them. She'll have to go back. Maybe just be that lurk to catch players on the rotation. But Cat hasn't moved. She has been on her perch for over a minute. She's not going to get cleared. And Nikki's already doing her job. Maybe overextends onto D7, but Cat strikes for her kill. Yoon very fast. That's in fact not even needed. So 2-on-2 made into just Zia, and Zia is gone. Caddy Jones, massive round. Double kill at the end, and Portugal equalize.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I really like the idea of Portugal again going for another mid to B, because they're keeping it very simple. They're making it work out effectively because they know Slovakia aren't contesting in towards middle. But when all the utility gets dropped, I'm thinking, why have they not just thrown this into a contact play? It doesn't matter because you've got Yoon, you've got Catty Jones. They're the players that are now bailing out Team Portugal. It's really cool that we are seeing all the individuals now step up for Team Portugal right when it matters most. Uh-oh. Right.
Well, it'd only be right if a round goes back the other way. Oh, it's going to. It's going to, Brandon. You're trying to recover, but they're losing the pistols. And they've lost the pistols. How's that feel? Shoe on the other foot.
I don't even know what I just watched. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's a disappointing one. That really is a disappointing watch. They've done all of the hard work to put themselves in a position where they've equalized the scoreline, they've broken the economy of Slovakia, and then that was the round.
Listen, I think it's fair because it went the other way before
as well, and I'm just sat here like, oh.
No, look, this is it's good. It puts balance back in the universe.
Right.
So now the outcome is fair, no matter what. It wouldn't have been fair otherwise, Brandon, if you eco someone. That's, just gun rounds. That's all that matters.
Yeah, just gun rounds.
Counter-Strike should just be everyone has a full buy every round. That's how you truly know who's better.
Right, let's see this then. D7 getting aggressive in towards ramp. Matthew looking to take the charge, and she does. Really nice entry kill immediately for Slovakia. And that, again, it's really following like a same theme here. Mid-stages in the half. Slovakia start finding these openings. Ida at ladder room. Oh, Will overwhelm Cat. That's a big find.
How did she even win that? That's ridiculous.
Oh, look at this as well. Nikki's going to have no idea that Cassie Jones is already on the wall towards the end of Apps. But again, this push comes forward from Matthew. Another huge kill found. Now there'll be Apps players there.
You killed a player in ladder. Why are you going back to A? They're running all over the place trying to outbrain Slovakia, and they're the ones whose brains are on the floor. Yun and Caddy completely separated, opposite sides of the map. Yun, I think, might not have been spotted because it was Zana that went down and Yun was still running through spawn, but player tucked in firebox. You don't have the time or maybe the space to clear this with the crossfire set up from Salty Patty. But maybe Caddy Jones can bring this one back. This fight determines the round. Yun swings. 30 seconds left, but Mafi is undetected, and you feel that she can just end the round. That smoke is going to give her something to, well, the T is something to work with, but Mafi, first is hers, second, not quite converted, but half HP, and a 1v2. Orp in CT. Comes forward, a whiff shot, but that's going to give Nikki space. Don't want utility in your hands, just need to hit the shots, and oh, it's awkward. Yun's given the chance. Such little HP, the swing, it's beautiful from Yun, and Portugal pull that one back from the brink.
How? How does that happen then? How have you allowed Yun to have this one on free? That makes no sense. This game makes no sense in this second half. You're right. Ida gets control in towards ladder, and then it's so individualistic from Team Portugal, and yet it's an individual that bails them out again. Because Yun has just pulled off a 1v3 that shouldn't have happened, but it did. And suddenly that's your economy now on its last legs again for Slovakia. Weirdly, this works out better for Team Portugal that they got ecoed and then they won the follow-up. Because if they win this, it goes 10-9, then it's an eco, then it's 11-9, and you're potentially only really dealing with one more buy this half. And my brain hurts.
Yeah, that one, Slovakia have been hurting a little bit with some of these rounds like that. Keeps it interesting at least. No utility, so getting aggressive early. That's their flash expended. Get a little bit of info, but no kill.
I quite like this from Team Portugal because they've realized Slovakia are going to push. They're going to either push B, they're going to go A. This round it was middle. Regardless, they're being aggressive. So what Team Portugal are doing right now is they're waiting for a mistake to be made. D7 is the sole player that's crept, took the mid space. As soon as she gets kind of this break point, that's where Ida can then start dropping her utility. Control can be acquired, and here we go. We're holding for this ramp push. This is so much better out of Team Portugal. And, well, I thought for a moment it was going to be great. Instead, it's Zia that finds 2 kills. Salty Patty's dealt with D7, and immediately it's a 4-on-2.
Zia on this CT side is really doing a lot of work. Immediately makes up for the whiffed shots on the Yun from the round previous with a massive double in ramp. Gets away scot-free, barely any damage done to her. And you can't lose this one, Slovakia. 4-on-2. You imagine Zia's position with Salty Patty should be enough to clean this up. Time's going to be a massive issue for Portugal. They're going to have to start making moves very soon. And Zia gets that first one. And second spotted. Zia can't get the kill, but does all of the work in that round. Slovakia onto double digits.
I was literally painting a picture of how Portugal played the perfect mid-round, and it was, but it just gets undone by Zia finding that double kill. They were holding for everything, and it's just the lineup. They weren't expecting the second player, and that's their undoing. 10-9. Slovakia take the lead.
Portugal forced into this round. That's crazy. Surely they had at least single round loss. You'd be having 4.5K into the next round, minimum. Crazy to force by this. Let's see if it works. There's a lot of bodies here on the CT side. Zia again in a perfect spot. Salty Patty ready to swing if needed, but Zia doing a lot of work. A double kill for her. There's Salty Patty chiming in. Maffy as well. This was a forced buy. And they're forced back to spawn. Zana with nothing left. Might be able to catch a kill on a timing. Yeah, okay. Surely not another 1v3. No, it's such a little HP. Surely not. No, Cat. Make sure it's not so. That one almost again falls from Slovakia's hands. But it's Portugal. They put all the pennies in the pot. And it doesn't work out.
That's so expensive, though. The fact that Zana is thrown into a 1v4 and makes it a 1-on-1. It might not matter. It might not matter. And I'm glad it doesn't influence the decision for Portugal to invest in again. I think that would be very silly. They just want to guarantee at least one more gun round. But they're playing for OT. But you're right, with all of them being on 2K, I feel like I should have saved in the previous. At least the economy is damaged on that CT side. But it doesn't ultimately matter right now.
Yeah, it's such a crazy decision to force. I don't comprehend it. Could you add about at least 2K to each of these players? But I think they were on first stage. Yeah. So like just over 2K. Anyway, whatever. Decision made. The eco frags get cleaned up. That's had a good recovery. 13 for 14 now, and only one of those eco frag in that round. Considering she was, what, 0-7 at one stage, I think. That's map point for Slovakia.
Yeah, they've really capitalized on Portugal's mistakes. And also, I think they played a brilliant CT side. Just the amount of aggression, especially in the mid-round, has consistently been catching Team Portugal off. Even when Team Portugal have held for it, it's about the quantity of players that is committing to the idea. And it really is punishing. And now Portugal, they've got to win 3 rounds straight. And Maffy wants to fight mid. Full blinded is D7, but it doesn't matter. She finds the opener, but it's yet again Zia in towards middle, doing all of the damage. And that should be the final nail in the coffin.
I said it had to be Zia. She would be the difference maker for this team if she is active, if she's alive. Alongside Maffy, alongside this late stage resurgence from Kat. Salty Patty, Nikki, both stepping up. Put it on the boost. Oh, that could have got out of hand and still can. A 1v2. Made into a 1-on-1. Heichi does a lot of damage. Salty Patty spotted. The spray can't connect. And Slovakia take their map pick.
I'll tell you what, that nade is so lucky because it looked like it was going deeper. It hits a pixel and then lands straight on Catty Jones's head for 50 damage. If she had a bit more health, it could have been a completely different story. But Team Slovakia, they deserve that win, to be honest. I feel like too many mistakes being made from Team Portugal. You're right. Zia came online. Maffy had an unbelievable game as well. 20 kills in it. Cat starts to come online. You think, okay, this is what Slovakia are working with. This is why they've made it so far into this competition through to the lower bracket. We're starting to see everyone just sort of waking up. And that was the same for Team Portugal to certain extents, right? Because Catty Jones had some really good rounds. Yun was top performer. We can bring up some highlights. Yun, top performer on Team Portugal. And Zana, while she had a red hot start, really cooled off.
Yeah, I think we're seeing from both these teams kind of the win conditions, and that was what we said kind of going into this series, that it needed to be more than just a couple of individuals, and it wasn't that for Slovakia at the start, but things changed. You know, it was just Maffy chugging along, and she was present enough in those early rounds that it gave time for the rest of the team to come online. And as soon as the side switched, you know, Slovakia really locked in on that CT side. There was a remarkable difference. And honestly, Slovakia, if they'd, you know, been able to win back one of these very early rounds, it could have even been a more dominant scoreline, all things considered, right? They got eco'd at one stage. So, yeah, it could have been even more dominant. So, an interesting game of Counter-Strike. Portugal banned Ancient to allow Slovakia into this. They purposely removed Ancient, a map that they were pretty sure that Slovakia would pick into, given they've been playing it a lot. And I don't know if it worked out. Maybe Ancient would have been better.
Yeah, there was also that turning point. I think the big turning point was at 8-8, where Portugal had broken the economy of Slovakia. They're on a full eco, and then everyone just goes one by one into the site, and it's a complete mess. And then we got the cams being put on the screen, and my head is just in them. I actually think if that goes the other way, then suddenly you get all the confidence. I think this round in particular drains and completely nullifies everything Team Portugal were trying to achieve in this game.
Yeah, it's a bit of a rough way to kind of end up losing this. The steam just runs out based off a couple of those rounds. They're getting eco'd, and then the force buy not working out as well. You know, losing that. Well, it's a 1-on-4, so you know it was never high stakes, but it comes close, and yeah, you kind of feel like you've tried everything and it's not working. So the game just sort of peters out at that stage. It's just the first map though, right? We're just getting started. Yep. It's the map pick of Slovakia. So expectations were there that it would play out this way. Dust 2 is our map 2. And that's a map that we have high expectations of Portugal on.
Yeah, we do. But at the same time, the individuals on Slovakia look very scary. Mm-hmm. And the likes of Ida, wasn't really performing to the same level I anticipate her with. I think you can expect a little bit more out of D7, but these are all things to come. Hopefully, Team Portugal can bounce back, because otherwise they get eliminated from the qualifier. We'll have to see how they do after this break.
Slovakia take their map pick, European map of Mirage. We go Dust 2 now, Brandon. We go to Portugal's choice, and we praise this choice just given the individuals, their experience in the map in the past. You still feeling confident about them on it?
Not really. I'm going to be honest. That T side was a little bit interesting. I think the defense as well had holes in it on Mirage. And I feel like if you've tactically banned Ancient, it means you're more kind of comfortable going to Mirage. But there was clear just sort of... It was either comms issues, or it was just sort of like delays in like the plan and everyone being on the same page for a lot of that for Team Portugal. And then some of the individuals went a little bit absent. On Dust 2, it's one of those maps where none of your individuals can go absent. It is literally just like DE_aim, and all of your individuals have got to be online. They've got to be present. With that being said, I was happy the fact that we've got these players that aren't just the players that we pretty much talked about for the entirety of pre-show on both Team Slovakia and Team Portugal really stepping up. And now I look to this and I think, okay, well, suddenly if you blend in some of the more veteran, experienced players that we've got on this team, if they all start to arrive, we could be in for a really good game of CS. I'm hoping we get that good game of CS, because I'm worried this could get really scrappy. I'm worried this could be a complete mess. And I think if it does get scrappy, that's where Team Portugal are going to struggle.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to a few of those key individuals stepping up. And the head-to-head I'm most interested in, obviously on a map like Dust 2, is Zia versus Zana, because it felt like Zia really came online towards the end. She was, I think, second on the scoreboard behind Maffy. So looking at Zana go toe-to-toe with her, as we get aggression from the CTs. They're up middle very quickly, looking for the fight, and the Ts are on the other side. It's a 1-for-1 initially. The T's just bail. They're going to head out towards long, seeing all these players, but tucked Maffy hidden behind Car. She can be the thorn in their side. They're not going to clear her. D7's looking that direction as she gets to the corner, but not seeing anyone. Maffy going to have a freebie, looking for the second. She gets it. A massive double up from that corner. Zana's PT50 gets something back, but the bomb Not on their back now. That's lost. It went down in that smoke, I think, as well, which makes it even harder to pick back up. Zana in this position relies on Ida.
I like this from Ida, though, because she's going in towards spawn. Nikki's expecting a short player. Instead, Ida could walk all the way through CT and wrap up close. And that is something that potentially Slovakia aren't going to anticipate. Cat is checking it. Of course she is. She's going to be thorough on her clears. But Ida's heard this. This gets really weird.
Yeah, timing missed by Cat. So Ida recovers the bomb and she comes back at the perfect time. Kit spotted. Is she just going to run to B? Gonna pause in CT spawn. This is very awkward. Oh, it's made awful. If she maybe just committed to heading up ramp, that would have been the way back into it, but she dies in spawn and Zana can't do anything from that position.
I think there's just too many ideas going on there. I think as soon as Ida gets that kill, she wants to go B. And I think a comm has said we should go A, and she stopped. And it's that indecision, it's that split second here that has really cost them. That is unfortunate, because I think that the initial attempt to go through the mid doors, catch off Cat, get the bomb, fantastic. And then after that, it just falls apart. Okay. Hang on. This is getting a little bit out of hand. A 3-on-2. But the rifles can't really be recovered. I say rifles, there's SMGs on the floor. That now gets picked up. Catty Jones has got a P250. Can they make it to A? I don't think so. And I might have lost Lucy.
No. I'm here. Sorry.
Hi.
5 MP9s. Not the coolest bite. And it's getting a little spooky. It looks like it's all going to be recovered. And hey, look, listen. At least you got 5 MP9 kills, but I don't like the lack of rifle. Maffy could have bought one.
Yeah, especially on these long-range angles, right?
And like, you don't need all that utility. You go up against Glocks. They're not forcing into that round.
No bomb down kind of guarantees there's probably just going to be that eco. Regardless, they've been able to get 2 M4s out off the back of it. They've now got all their utility still, but it is definitely a bonus. I like that counter smoke. Now Z is already in lower, looking to challenge and could catch off D7.
But you're kind of expecting all the MP9s on show that they're going to get aggressive. Oh, yeah, T7 half checks it and Zia was spotted. Maffy tries to get aggressive on the other side. Little maneuver to get out. You've lost that first kill and it's going to be hard to respond. Because again, you just got these 2 rifles.
Oh, not quite the smoke they were after, but it doesn't matter because Zana over the top has dealt with Cat. And suddenly short control does belong to Team Portugal. So currently against the mishmash of MP9s and M4s, it is working out. That nade, if it went a little bit deeper, would have done so much more damage, but Portugal looked to scale.
Nikki in a good position, but this long lurk will be her undoing if it's timed correctly. And with the flashbangs over, Nikki looking for the timing to fight forward. Headshot angle gets hers. Would love some more. She's found another. But it might not be enough. Maffy's alone, and there's that long flank comes through finally, and it's enough to lock in the round.
Yeah, nice sort of pacing on the round there from Team Portugal. It's very much a standardized default, but just adding extra care to clear all of these angles with the SMGs, as you mentioned, really common for them to get up close and personal, trying to already do some damage. But Nikki being the only outlet there for Team Slovakia just isn't enough. And interestingly enough, by buying all of those MP9s and then losing, they're actually only on Deagles here, Slovakia. It's been very expensive in the rounds that they have won. So as a result, Team Portugal can equalize early.
Yeah, surprising it's got to this point. The SMGs just didn't pay off in that last round. So playing the longer game, wanting the money further on. The better weaponry. Oh.
Someone molly mid, said D7. Now she's being flanked. This could get a little bit tricky. I think Zia should be able to get an AK here.
Yeah, D7's done for. It's just, what can you do once you find her? Portugal are grouped, and they've not taken space, so...
Uh-oh.
Slovakia's going to have all 5 members here. All of those pistols. The AK. Smoke lands. Zana gets one through it. AK has to be juggled over. Yun another. And looks like crisis should be avoided. A salty patty is only good for the one. And all the players here, but the lack of armor means that they are just mincemeat in the hands of the AKs. Anything for Cat?
I was going to say, it is Cat.
No.
Oh. I got scared. I got very scared. I could see that falling apart just because we saw the first map. We saw all the pistol ecos doing a lot of damage. And when you see 5 players from Team Slovakia all being over at A, and the only space Team Portugal have got is over towards A, yeah, you start to get very worried. But they're okay. And now it's a full gun round. Interestingly enough, no AWP for Team Slovakia. Still can't afford it. So Zia is using a rifle, and Zana's uncontested.
Zia's rifling quite strong, to be fair. D7's already out long, and she is accelerating, but the late flash is enough. You can see the layering of utility there. D7 had really good scaling. That counter utility perfect, and Cat's hearing everything. All these players fast up short. 2 players long, Salty Patty close by, looking for the shots, gets hers. Now Cat can step in. She steps in for one. So trades are at least good. The 2 players, oh, Katie Jerians, that's the kill they needed. That's given them something, given them space. Zana to put down the bomb.
Yeah, but look at Matthew's position. Already up short, already scaling, but with Zana finding Zia, it could be a completely different turn of events. Zana now holding for Matthew, sees the jiggle and holds patiently. Who's going to blink first in this stalemate? Is Matthew going to commit in towards short? No, instead Zana punches in the digits. Will be allowed the luxury to escape. Scopes on the angle. Missed shot allows Maffy to creep in closer. Another missed opportunity. Swaps to the pistol, but Maffy holds her nerve and she defuses, getting the round for Slovakia.
I'm impressed by Maffy. Just every game I watch her play, like, this is the decision making in that moment, right? The wide swing off the angle after you jiggle out the first shot, and then getting onto that elevated angle off on the lip so that she can look over the box to where Zana's positioning in. Every time Zana swings, it's a different angle she has to adjust to. Whereas Maffy can just lock in on that one headshot angle. Really nicely played. A 1v2 for her in the end. Although it gets there off the back of Caddy Jerians getting some really nice entries. Well, kills from short to give Portugal the advantage. A good round for Slovakia. First gun round they picked up.
Oh, not ideal. Zia finding the first and scoped on the second by top middle as well. Zana can't overextend. She knows all too well how these angles work by the mid doors. Another round in which Portugal look for early control. They have taken tunnels. But they've got to get past Zia's AWP.
Easier said than done. We're only taking one kill for our troubles. Looking to see if anyone's pushed. A big issue for Slovakia is that they've got 3 players on B, but that might not be an issue because actually Portugal's going that way. So it's the opposite. It's a big issue for Portugal. Fade attempted. Zia, quick up, and now they burst into the site, and it's just an absolutely devastating result for Portugal. Cat and Maffy there to clean up.
Yeah, nice little setup, and Zia plays that really well. I like the counter utility she puts down with this new smoke that's kind of being introduced with D2 being added back in the map. You smoke off the right-hand side is kind of the counter play to like a hinge smoke. She blows it open. She drops the incendiary so they can't progress in towards middle initially. Now Portugal got nothing. Only a couple of flashbangs to try and aid a bomb plant or aid their assistance out of long. But getting past Salty Patty is going to be a little bit difficult. You've also got the backup as well of another rifler. It should be fine. Everything should be okay, especially with the reinforcements.
Yeah. There's so many bodies here. There's no way for Portugal to flash out any of these positions. So I can leave D7. She can maybe catch someone if they want to, if Slovakia decide that they want to retake control. But there's not really any impetus on Slovakia doing that. So D7 can maybe activate late if they can scale up short. But, oh, that one misses the mark. And Cat misses the mark. Surprisingly, it's a lot of damage, to be fair. But it's not the kill, and long range, the pistols could tap out, but Nikki, she can tap just as good. That's that activation from D7, but it's only one that she's good for.
Yeah, it felt like with Cat falling there and then Nikki being in a completely isolated angle, missing the mark initially, that Portugal were going to capitalize on it. But it's fine. They get bailed out. And then Zia just chimes in and deals with D7. All right, Slovakia. Especially when you consider that D2 is very T-sided. 5 rounds already. They'd be feeling more than happy with that. However, what I will say is that based on what I've seen out of Team Portugal, they're definitely a defensive team rather than offensive. So just get as many rounds as possible, Slovakia.
Feels like that can be said for both these squads, actually, in a lot of ways. And Portugal early on taking the ground. Three lovers wanting to scale short. Cat actually not the one that gets to fight. It's Salty Patty advanced in short that wins one onto Ida. So an opening kill for Slovakia. Now you're walking right into the AWP of Zia. Flick up, good jiggle to avoid that shot. She has to fall off. 7 throws the mid to B smoke, but that doesn't look to be the destination.
Yeah, Slovakia being a lot more proactive and not so much in their positioning, but like by breaking the utility of Team Portugal, making them feel uncomfortable. Zia's now under threat. Flashbang not good enough. In fact, blinds Team Portugal, but it's a miss out of Zia. Salty Patty still looking at the edge of the smoke, trying to get a kill, but can't do it. And another missed shot out of Zia means that she can be run down. Zana doesn't quite dodge the flash, and instead it's a no-scope. Zia looking for a second, but can't quite make it happen. Instead, it's the 5-7 out, but the kill's not being collected, and it's all suddenly a one-on-one.
Yeah, and some familiar one as well. Zana versus Maffy, and it's almost the exact same positions, but Zana has a problem, and that's going to be the clock. There's flames in Maffy's pocket. She wants to throw them forward. Good HE, though. There's that incendiary. Forces Zana into an active position. Oh my god! I thought Zana was in the perfect spot there. The low HP on Maffy. It should have been an easy fight for her. But Maffy just wide swings her and deletes her.
No way. No way that's how that 1v1 goes. You're right. Zana was in such a great spot and she just gets deleted by Maffy. Portugal can't win a clutch. Portugal, at the moment, can't win a round. And now they've got limited money. They're in a really awkward spot where some players can go on Galils, some can go on AKs who wouldn't really have all the utility. It feels like it's going to be Tech 9s. And remember, this is their map pick.
1v1s, one out by Maffy. Well, one was 1v2, I should say. This play is not on your radar. Your radar needs to be restarted. That's a bailout because Zia should have won the round for them immediately, right? I mean, she does get a double in the end, but she had so many opportunities.
They have forced. Well, they need rounds, so it makes sense for this investment. And I know the money has got to be kind of wearing thin a little bit on Team Slovakia because every single time it feels like it's a clutch. Bailing them out, double pushing towards tunnels, and Catty Jones can't find a single kill. It felt like she was guaranteed for at least one.
Back to short. This has been such a common route for Portugal to take. Heichi actually does a lot less than I thought. Baldy Paddy cops a dink. This is messy, but a good incendiary will slow down the T's, force them back. Yunhao's taking good control long. This fight could be everything. If Nikki catches the timing. Oh, Nikki, that was hers. But Yun just edges back around that corner, throws off the crosshair. Maybe Zia can get a kill back. Spots up. And that's a nice shot.
It's just these slow rounds in which Portugal just shift their decision making. But, oh, that was the chance as well. So many kills in which you think, surely that's a guarantee. And then it isn't. Ida gets the bomb down, sure. But it's a 1-on-4. 2 players are low. There's the first of them. Zia with the AWP as well. Incredibly wounded. And over the top goes Ida, but the bullets don't connect. A 1-on-3. Surely it's impossible. Surely there's no way. There's so much utility. There's incendiaries, and there's Cat with the headshot. Slovakia are going to rise to 7 rounds.
Yeah, you can see the idea that they thought that Long would be open just because of that fight that was won out earlier, and they try and take the space back there, just running out, but get caught. Leaves into a clutch situation, and just, yeah, so many individual fights that are given because Portugal's indecision. Slovakia running away with the CT side on the map pick of Portugal. We know this is a team, well, not necessarily a team, but a core that in the past did struggle when it came to some of these pressure games.
Yeah, true.
Cat doesn't. Only good for one on the aggressive angle, though. Good trade.
Back to short again. Look at how quick this is. This time it's D7 out long. Zia under an awful lot of pressure, trying to just spot head tops just over the top of the shelf. And D7 on the lurk. Sorty Patty surely is guaranteed the kill. No! It's just the dink. It's not a headshot. It's D7 with both. That is a massive round to put back in Portugal's favour. If they're able to convert it. It's still Maffy and Zia. Yun tucks on the corner, waiting patiently, but Zana gets her revenge right when it matters most. And that's going to show the emergency exit for Zia. Portugal will get round 3.
Finally, fight one back, and it comes off the individual heroics. D7 gets away with a double there. You can see left broken and bruised afterwards. Zia saves the AK, so it's at least something to take forward. But finally, Portugal break through this A site. They've been testing it again and again. This time, success is found. Problem is, I mean, the most they can hope for is 5 on this T side, and the way things are going, I don't know if they'll even get 4. Depends if they win this one. That actually will break Slovakia. So
yeah.
This is the most important round for Portugal.
And I'll tell you what, you take a look at this 7-2. If you are able to stabilize to 7-5, look, they'd take that in a heartbeat. Team Portugal. Same smokes being lined up to guarantee this long space. Yun goes out with the util alongside D7, but it's that AWP that falls first. As an immediate trade, Cat with the util will deal with Catty Jones, but it's Slovakia now under pressure at A because yet again Portugal was scaling.
Fast they go. Cat drops the smoke, just trying to survive. Dances backwards. He's a player, I think, on the edge going into Goose. Bomb forward. Spam. Oh, doesn't quite hit the mark. And Cat's low. Advantage for Portugal. As utility falls, there is a way back in. Maffy alive. D7 takes another. And it's all on the Cat. She's got no health. D7's taking names. And she's taken 3. Again, a huge impact round from D7.
Yeah, and then some. Because again, she gets dinked. And it's by Cat over at Car. And somehow, some way, she's able to take 3. 9 HP is where she begins all of this. Ridiculous. And you're right, there's that breaking point. It's just MP9s. There's a single M4 on Zia. It's the last round of the first half, so you will expect that force. They're expecting something fast, and they're going to get it over at B. 3, in fact, 4 players have taken all of B. They know it's A.
That's crazy. She's in basically T-spawn. She is in T-spawn now. But Portugal is so fast that it might not matter.
That's the bomb. Please be careful.
Oh, what? How does Matthew win that fight? Oh, she's been so loud. Yun's heard this. But Nikki now starts to move. Oh, this is weird. This is weird. And Yun, can she get a second? If she does, it's massive, but she falls. So 3-on-3, but they're going back to B.
What are they doing?
Oh my god. Ida almost falls through the smoke to Cat. D7 walking back into middle. Bomb being planted on B. D7 spotted. God. Swings back. Nice shot from Nikki. And Ida needs to double her kill count to clutch this one for Portugal and can't get it off the swing. Zia hits hers. It's chaos from Portugal. But in that chaos, Slovakia thrive.
Yeah, and that's what we said pre-game. I don't understand it. I really don't. There's a trade out of Mafi. You've got obviously 2 players that are now containing and trying to deal with Yun over at long. Why do you not just go A? That doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Even if Slovakia are rotating over there, even if you can hear them in towards CT spawn, you've got utility, you've got flashbangs, you've got the space over towards A. It makes no sense to reset over. And that's the difference between having a strong foothold back into this second half and potentially your qualifier journey ending in 2 maps.
Fast from Slovakia, pacey straight into B. Smoke lines the doors, they're out, but the dualies from Zana in the back corner. They're able to get at least one. And she's now a distraction. As over the top, they just run them down. Zana gets a second, gets a third. And Portugal get the pistol.
Well, I needed that, didn't they? My goodness me. Very sort of standard pistol where you rush B. A flashbang kind of just gets everyone really good counter utility from Team Portugal. Then all the bullets just start to connect and line up. That's necessary. That's a step in the right direction, but Portugal will not feel comfortable until their score hits 13.
Thankfully, Portugal have done what Slovakia should have done, and that's overinvested in rifles. They've got 4 rifles. So they're going to be a bit more future-proof than Slovakia were. As long as they don't let too many slip, and a bit of pace in the middle. Ida with that MP9 gets a couple. And D7 adds a couple to her tally as well.
Yeah. And again, it's good to see Zana being here, stepping up. 17 kills right now for Zana. D7's on 11, but again, her impact really felt towards the tail end of that T half, getting 2 important rounds for Team Portugal. The issue you've got is that for Team Slovakia, it's a lot more of a consistent effort from everyone. Everyone's performing, everyone's contributing. For Team Portugal, a couple of those individuals need to step up.
HE middle. Just a little bit. Slovakia not taking too many risks early on their first gun round on this T side. Know that if this one slips by, suddenly that massive lead you brought into this half is dwindled away. Out flash forward. And it just tucks. So she's still present. Reflash is going to get her aggressive. Cat's heard that though, so Cat should be aware and yeah, just about able to control that spray. Nice little opening kill.
Such a well-timed smoke over at B from Catty Jones, and D7 was there to try and help set up, but because that kill was lost in towards short, that means that Catty Jones is now completely alone, and walking into these players, it might not matter. That's a lot of damage being inflicted onto Matthew and Salty Patty. D7 profits off the first. The bomb still needs to make its way over, and D7 is lying in wait in this smoke.
Cat's being a nuisance on that lurk. Oh, that smoke is not good. Yeah, D7 just pushes through, of course. And there's no time. That's the round one. The bomb had to be planted. There was 10 seconds left. D7 sees the opportunity. She takes it. That re-smoke cost everything for Slovakia.
Yeah, it really did. But also huge credit to Catty Jones because she is solo anchoring B after this kill comes in on Ida. And she does so much damage to the point where D7 and Team Portugal can feel incentivized to go for that retake in the first place. A huge smoke play creates uncomfortable breathing room now for Team Slovakia, as Portugal are right on their heels, and there's no money really in the bank. It's Cat with that rifle that got saved in the previous, and that is it.
It's now a little funky. You got this hero AK for Cat, but yeah, the rest of these upgraded pistols, it's still pretty punchy. There's definitely a way to break through. Maybe delayed long looks like the play. CT smoke blocks off the doors. Definitely the intent.
Yeah, this flash should catch Zana. But hopefully it should set up Yun. Doesn't matter. Orb on the angle, but Cat trades out immediately, and now Yun is under a lot of pressure. So much utility being put forward back by Ida, trying to save her teammate. But Cat with this AK is doing the damage. Ida can't quite get the bullets to connect to any of these players. Yun is somehow still alive, and that's enough of a distraction for D7 to step in at long.
Yeah, it's just buying enough time. That's perfectly played by Yun. Honestly, she gets a double as well from that position, but she just stays alive for so long, and you can see how awkward it is for Slovakia. They can't swing on her. They got no smoke. Oh, hello. They got no smoke to allow that swing in to drop on corner to isolate the fight. So plays it perfectly, sits back, buys the time for D7 to rotate, and we're 8 apiece. This has been so far a lockout on the CT side.
Maybe D2 is just CT sided. Look at this from Zana. First time we've really seen aggression from her and her orb. Oh, but Matthew's holding, but not ready for the second player. At least that's a trade. But look, Slovakia look to go in towards short in the meantime, but Ida in the perfect angle. The distraction from D7, it's more than enough. Ida gets free, and Team Portugal take the lead.
That's beautiful from Ida. Had a quite series so far, a hugely impactful triple kill. D7 spamming through the smoke, draws the attention over. If she'd only gotten one there, they could have just accelerated. It would have been game over. Slovakia struggling to come up with an idea on this T side, and Portugal taking the fight to them is catching them off guard. They're not getting into these positions where they can set up a play. It's just early fights that Portugal deliver.
Yeah, and do you know what that reminds me of a lot? Slovakia's CT side on Mirage. And it's what was able for them to win that map. It's a taste of their own medicine right now. D7 again, looking for this spam. Oh, nearly gets caught by the rifle of Cat, but backs away just in the nick of time. A lot of space being allowed over here for the T side. All the tunnels. Now, a little bit more of mid. Cat will find D7.
Rifle. It can't be collected right now. Slovakia don't look intent to even go towards middle. Considering the short play, Sandro forward. Maffy has to be pushed forward in front of it. Actually gets the dink onto Ida, who's feeling the pressure. Needs to step up again, and she's run down by the Tech 9s. That's room for a bomb to be planted. Again, another rifle they'd love to get their hands on, but there's too much of a risk going for it. And this is going to be everything. This push up through short. Caddy Jones looking to come around that corner. First player spotted, but good swing from Cat. Baited in, just tucks into the corner. And Sentry is going to force her to make the move, and she swings out into Zana's grasp. And Zana charges forward. Needs this kill. Nikki falls, and that's given them the way back in. Double digits. Portugal seamless on this CT side.
Really well played by Zana. All of that utility. It was even thrown in. Another player that was jumping up there, I think, dropped the HE, Catty Jones. But this was expertly done. And then that allows all of the distraction for Yun to scale up long and just guarantee these kills on players on site. A really effective retake. And suddenly, look, this was 8-4. You're right. Team Portugal, they've come alive here on this CT side. And I'm really surprised. I did not see this or anticipate this in the slightest when the half swapped over.
Yeah, it turns out 4 was more than enough. Zana boosted. Different variations of the setup. Portugal feeling right at home. There's that aggression again. Long range spray doesn't fully convert the kill, but it's another low HP player. So happy trade for D7. I think the big thing for me is seeing Zana having so much impact. Definitely a map that she's a lot more comfortable on, it feels, and needed to be. That was the difference maker.
You can tell that Team Portugal were like basing a lot of their early rounds just based on what Zana wants to do with the AWP. Last round it was a boost. Round before, she got the spawn to go peek long, so she's given it. Oh, nearly. Deals with Zia. Zia has another look, and you know that Zana isn't going to peek this angle now because the AWP's going to be trained on the position. And also, the pressure is on Team Slovakia to walk further forward, walk into the crosshair of Zana.
Gonna have to cross. Smoke thrown by hand. Oh, that's gonna leave a huge gap on that left side, surely. In fact, the HE gets the job done. Zana's scope gets the second. Zia, good luck, have fun. There's no time. 10 seconds. She can't even save. She's done for.
This is it, surely. There's been so many sort of like momentum killer rounds in this map. But when you haven't posted a single T-sided round on Dust 2, you got to be feeling disheartened. 11-8, Portugal 2 steps away from showing us Anubis. Now, of course, you got the loss bonus for your Slovakia. Of course, you can keep investing in with the AKs and get some Galils in play as well. Not everything you desire because Zia's not on the AWP. But you're running out of time. A timeout now being called in from Slovakia. Could this have been called a few rounds ago? You'd argue it should have been.
Yeah. Absolutely. Raining heavily to be early. Initial smokes. Out long and in middle. They're just going to try and contact in, and maybe that's the answer. Zia, good kill. Looking for a second. That is sharp onto D7. Slovakia look to get their first round on this T side, and it comes to the back of just contact into B, and Zia hitting her shots.
All right, maybe you don't need the AWP on Zia. Maybe you just give her an AK. That is absurd. And now if you're Portugal, look, you've got money. The most important thing is to not panic. You've done the hard part. You've come back. You've basically cemented... Oh my God. You've basically cemented yourself in this third map. Just tap it in. Don't stress. I mean, Zana is chilling, right? If you're Slovakia, you're thinking, we need to make sure we close this map. Because if we go to Anubis, we've got Zana in this form, that is a worry. That is a very big worry.
Yeah, this is the Zana that made Bigger Keeper one of the scariest teams, and a big part of how they've been able to successfully get to Lazi's Impact LAN and be a consistent contender. CS2 has felt at times a bit of a struggle for her, but this map's certainly not.
And now, if you're Slovakia, you think that Team Portugal are going to have to respond to this immediately. You can see that D7's got active. Cleared it out immediately. And now, if Portugal, you know, well, it has to be mid, it has to be A. A blow on the smoke, a double flash is over. Yun now gets confirmation. Rotations can get over really early.
Smoke down so they can swing onto Yun. Yeah, it's going to fade, but doesn't matter. It's Zana's job. Boots up, though. Zana on the line.
Look at this from Cat, though, in mid.
Cat strikes. Gets one, though. Trades fast. Still an advantage for Slovakia, but that might not last. Depends what Zana can achieve. She's not spotting anything. She's read this. There's no one on their way out from long. They're moving, and D7, she moves too. The smoke is going to kind of hint to Slovakia that Portugal have the read of where you're up to, and it's going to split the defenders.
That's actually really nice from D7, because it's going to force them back into the AWP of Zana. And Zana is in a very committed angle here. She needs to hit this shot. There needs to also be a flashbang here for Slovakia. Missed one. Okay, but she can get out. 30 seconds. They now have to run through the molly. Now straight into the open. Straight into Zana. But Salty Patty will trade. D7 is here on the site. And she's playing to deny. She's playing to win the entire round, and Ida is down below, lurking, waiting. And it's D7 that strikes for the first. Not quite for the second. Time's running out, but that's when Ida comes through the smoke. Portugal have made it to map point.
D7's such a smart player. That's another round she's won. I know Ida gets those 2 kills there, but D7, again, we saw her push to that smoke to deny the bomb on B 3 or 4 rounds ago, which won that round. And this round, again, you get to see head down. She's just running to get to the site as quickly as possible because she knows time is going to be the issue. She knows she has Ida there to close. All D7 needs to do is stay alive and be a menace, and she does it. Zana tagged on the outset. But even if Slovakia get the opening kill, it's not always been enough, as we saw in the last round. But D7 falls.
That's a good scalp to take. And Zana is low HP. Oh, look at this re-aggression. Is there going to be a flashbang here? No, it's just dry. And Cat's ahead of it. And Cat is aware. So suddenly it's a 3-on-5 for Team Slovakia. They're going to reset in towards long. And where has Yun been playing? Basically every round in pit. So you can kind of anticipate this. Also, Matthew's on alert to the point where maybe Ida could have been spotted. But at least she's being held for.
Easy. Now Matthew might see if someone gets aggressive on B, and as soon as Zana fires this shot, whether she dies or not, Slovakia have all the information, know exactly what to do. So there's the AWP.
Hang on.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. Go back up short. In fact, I like this. Leave Salty Patty on this lurk in spawn. Avoid the AWP. And now you know. Last player was on B with the AWP.
Still could be overtime. There still could be a conversation piece here in Dust 2 for Slovakia. The decision here is to definitely not hunt Zana. Because they're going to have money anyway, Team Portugal. You know that. You're better off prioritizing your economy over one AWP. This was the AWP that even got legged at the start of the round. They're going to hunt it.
She's going to live. I think she's definitely done for. Okay. Yeah, there's no way out.
I don't mind that style of hunt. but they got more than enough money.
Zana also is loaded, but she actually might have to drop her teammate, so it's gonna affect her. Should still be able to get north. Yeah, should be able to drop one rifle, and I think everything will be okay. See, yeah, she'll drop one rifle over, so still a full buy, full Portugal. Taking Slovakia a minute, but they've finally woken up on this T side.
You know what? If Slovakia win this round, there's going to be no money. But it's probably going overtime. You know how crazy that would be?
It would be crazy, but also I have no confidence in either team always winning the round where they've got a massive monetary advantage.
Yeah, true. That is way faster from Cat. Oh. But spotted. Oh, but not collected. Zana needs to get out, and she does, just about. Really good counter incendiary thrown in to aid her escape.
Yeah, it was a tough shot to hit on that right-hand side. Not what you expect the T to be. Oh, Zana feels that she can get active elsewhere after being spotted, firing off in short. Doesn't expect an AWP to be holding that line still, but Zia's patient, rewards her a kill.
You know that D7's going to walk through the smoke, which is exactly why Z is holding for it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know the play style. She's going to do it. She always does it.
Falls back. Decides not to.
That's correct. But Ida's in a really difficult position where she's going to need at least 2.
Yeah. And she's playing quite an exposed angle. Has to fall back to dodge. Looking for the headshots. Doesn't collect that first, and a flash up the top will give her another opportunity to swing. Good Molotovs, keeping her at bay. Ida gets hers. Betrayed is there from Cat. Out from long, you're needed to win that fight. That's put into the 3-on-3. And a chance for Portugal to prevent this one getting away from them. And now you're definitely enticed to be going for it. Nice shot from Zia. Just a swing, and I think she might have spotted D7. Playing up close shotgun style, gets a follow-up. Zia on fire. Yun in a 1 versus 2. Zia's low, but Cat's on full HP. And okay, that was a nice kill, but Cat there to close.
Yeah, wow. That's as close as it gets, really. And again, it comes from a player you don't expect to really deliver the kills. Yun on that angle, the only player that's really known in that entire situation out long. And yet still tries to make it work and still puts up a really good fight. Good default from Slovakia, and then as soon as they get into this post plant, it's just Zia taking matters into her own hands. She's the player that holds for Zana to get the opening kill. She's the one that basically closes the entire show. 12-11. 1 round separating Portugal from a third map. 1 round from separating Slovakia for forcing OT.
Oh, I'm scared about Zia. Yeah, she was so aggressive with that AWP. And with the weaponry that Portugal have, they're going to get pretty close. Contacting cleanly. There's no utility for the CT side. So the defenders just need to hit their shots. They're going to have the disadvantage with the weaponry.
Wow.
You've got to clear Caddy. You've got to clear her. D7 is just copying all the util. Flash, good, cleared. Maffy hits the shot. They know a player's stuck backside. She's on fire. The flashbang is a big problem. 2 players low. Nikki wins one out long. Solid Patty on the leg middle. No. It gets out of hand. Look at the health pools. These 3 players have nothing. Oh, this is starting to slip. Already slipped, really. Zia would love an AK at this stage.
Okay, so resetting in towards B can work here because it's D7 that's isolated. And they're going to walk. So she's not going to hear this either. And the rotations are so far away. This is still winnable. This is still very winnable for Slovakia. If D7 gets 1 kill here, she's done more than enough. And Nikki's going first.
Yeah, 1 kill is enough. And She might even get two. The swing. Zia has to clutch. Look at the health pool. She has to stick the bomb. She has no choice. They're going to run it down. They've won it. Slovakia, in that last round, they had all the advantages, and they fall to a force by MP9s, a couple of pistols, and it's enough for Portugal.
I can't believe that. I really can't believe that. They threw like 4 pieces of utility trying to disrupt D7 out of the bomb site, and somehow none of it affects her, and she lives with like 20 HP, just hides behind the box to the point that Ida can come in and swing. And the fact that Ida gets a second kill in towards the mid double doors, I don't know. I don't know. But it's that round that actually, look, they deserve it because of the effort that they put in all of the previous ones. And I know that one's a bit outrageous, and that's a bit of a cop-out thing for me to say, because it never should have got to that point. But this was 8-4 on the CT side. They come back, they win like 7 in a row. And then suddenly it looks like Slovakia are going to do it. They're going to bring it back from the brink. They're going to force overtime. It's going to be fine. We're going to shut down Zana. We're going to eliminate Team Portugal. And they just say no.
If you're a Slovakia fan, you're not feeling good, because this is their third 13-11 map loss. And, you know, the other two were in the group stage. So, you know, there was, at least they still got through. But you know, this was their chance just to eliminate Portugal and you know, continue on. Obviously, there's still another map remaining, but to have come so close to 2-0ing it and to let it slip at the tail end where you're about to force OT. Obviously, OT would have been its own conversation entirely, but it just took them way too long to start to work out this T side. Like, they lost so many consecutive rounds. It was like, what, 6, 7, 8 in a row?
7, I think.
Yeah, before they even found their first T round. It just took way too long.
I'm also going to say something where I think if this game ended like 13-8 and Slovakia weren't able to get it going, that would feel better, in my opinion, than getting a comeback, trying to force OT, and then losing to a half buy and making it go 13-11 to a decider. That one is more of a tilter. And now I start to look at some of these players, I'm like, okay, you've got to mentally reset now. That's the danger now for Team Slovakia, is they got to make sure their heads are still primarily focused in this game. Because if you're Portugal, you're loving life. You're on a high. It's a sigh of relief. Oh my God, we don't have to go OT. We did it. But they did the comeback in the first place. If you're Slovakia, you're thinking, oh my goodness me, how has this even happened? And now we've got to go and play Anubis.
Yeah, and Portugal is a team that, you know, we mentioned kind of during it when Slovakia were starting to finally get those few rounds going. They're a team that can crumble under pressure, that core in the past. We've seen it when it comes to the qualification matches for LAN. That's when the pressure's on, that the mental has been an issue for the squad, for the core in the past. So doesn't quite happen here. They almost let it get to them, honestly, in those final rounds. They could have been eliminated, you know, right there, right then. But able to get through in the final round. It's enough. They stay alive. They go to a map 3. Now, it's all going to be about whether that reset can come through for Slovakia. You feel, with players like Cat in the squad, with players like Zia, that's possible. We'll find out. Anubis to decide up after this. So map required, Brandon.
Yes.
Well, sorry, we both spoke at the same time.
Yeah, it's because we're excited, Lucy.
Yeah.
Because we're excited for the third map.
I think it's the first time we've had a best 3 go with the third map. So, you know, it's good. The level of competition, it's very tight between the two. And Anubis, you got to be favoring Portugal.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think mentally, yes. I think the sort of the players that we know a lot more from Team Portugal play Anubis to quite a high level. The Anubis, I would say, is D7's like map. I think this is the D7 map where she pops off the most, and she was popping off on Dust 2. So I would put that as another big tick, right, for Team Portugal. Zana's online, and for the majority of that CT half is winning out the head-to-head against Zia. So that's another one. I already spoke about the mentals. I'm going to put up another finger. Number 4, I feel like it just will be, and that's my opinion. So that's like all of these, and yeah, that's the way I think it's going.
You're only on 4 fingers. All right, I'm gonna go on the other side of things.
All
right. So Slovakia won their map pick. Look good. All right, that's my first one. So that was their opponent's map pick they lost. That's fine. All right.
Sure.
They were able to bounce back. They grinded back in, so it took a little bit to reset to find their way back in, but they were able to do it. Zia was looking very sharp. A few massive impact rounds from her. That's big when Sana on the other side is also fragging out. Yep. Kat as well alongside her was important. And Maffy, I'm just putting up fingers for each player. Maffy continues to be this X factor for them. Those 1v1 she won versus Sana, who top fragged, speak volumes. So there's a chance for Slovakia.
All right, if you're putting up fingers for every single player, let me just do that as well. Oh, yeah, I've run out of fingers. Okay, Team Portugal.
All 11 of them.
Yeah, I know. To be from the UK. 135. T side, going to execute on towards B. And there's only one defender here. It's Catty Jones versus the whole squad.
Free plant, evidently. Yeah, perfect timing on the smoke flash. You're in. It will be a fast flank. That's going to be something to consider. As all our mid players actually went back around through CT, and the fight's coming to them. They just needed to hold, and Yun gets one, Catty another, and D7 has two. So bomb planted, sure, but only 1 kill, 2 kills found.
That was a perfect retake. And that was Slovakia not being able to get space beyond the bomb site. They were completely trapped in. They had decisions about whether they wanted to go in towards Temple or if they wanted to push in towards CT. But because of those quick rotates, as you mentioned, from Team Portugal out in towards CT, that was denied. You start to feel uncomfortable. Zia goes, okay, well, we should probably try and take some B main space. By that point, the lurk's activated from D7. And Team Portugal, that's a very clean pistol.
Slovakia will buy into it, and 3 Galils is actually, well, I don't know, no, it's some indecision. 1 Galil swaps to a scout. Aggression. Portugal's CT sides are just full of aggression.
Yeah, and I wouldn't expect anything less. Not the most amount of utility in the world to kind of bail them out of their position. So they're very committed right now, I'd say, our Portugal. Cat swings at the first instance, but it's still Catty Jones to get the first. There's Ida revealing herself, but it comes at a very big cost for Team Slovakia. And that is not a single kill being found, and all of them going the other way.
Yeah, this is the force fight too, and you've not got a kill, okay, one kill.
Yeah.
Doesn't even leave the smoke. Just like shooting. Portugal will be very happy with that outcome.
I'm not saying anything because I've seen the pistol rounds. I'm not saying anything whatsoever. I'd say, okay, well, that's cool. Let's see if Portugal can hold on to one of these rounds in which they should always be converting. Just send Yun in, get some kills, get some money on the MP9. Flashbang forward. Ida this time showing that she wants to be the player to fight. That's a lot of early conditioning being set up, by the way, by Team Portugal. They're more than happy to take the fights very early, which means that Zia is probably, as soon as she gets the AWP out, going to come right here on the stairs and scope it.
Double up in dark, so you don't expect Kat to get much done as she gets close to the PT50, hoping for someone just to re-stand on a swing. I mean, Ida is low, so the PT50 can definitely get this kill pretty simply. But the trade will just be immediate, you'd imagine. As Ida actually looks out there, there's the kill. Catty Jones gets the double up and makes sure that one doesn't get any further damaging.
Yeah, good to see Ida on the board early. I know that was just against Ecos, but they're all confidence kills, and she was stepping up towards the end of D2. This time it's actually on the other end of things, where everyone is stepping up this time for Team Portugal on the kill count. I'm not going to get ahead of myself, though. We saw this on Mirage, exact same scoreline. In fact, it was one better, 4-0, and then Team Slovakia worked their way into that second half. It's been a story just of the series so far, but now with Zana and her AWP, Ida looks to get aggressive out of B main, and Maffy's the only defender really there holding that ground. Oh. All right. Does deal with the AWP. It's a good start.
Ida's actually just going to pick it up. That's not a bad weapon to have in Dark. Very separated, Portugal, but this is the right response to push into A main when you lose the control of mid. Oh, D7 fall. Fells, Salty Patty. Now the up on Fountain should be set up for success, and in fact, Nikki gets that first kill. So I've dealt with both players. Are they ready for a third? Well, now they will be. Caddy Jones fires off her M4, lets them know, and still gets the kill. So 2-on-2, and bomb is planted on B. Yeah, I think I just realized.
Yeah, that's weird, but they could line up. Oh my goodness me, that was really close. But Caddy Jones gets free. Slovakia were really hoping.
Why didn't you just go to A?
Because they were really hoping that all of this distraction, especially the Caddy Jones kill outside A main, they felt like the commitment was going to be there. But instead, because Ida was in mid, she hears it and comms it over. So then you're able to isolate these 2 kills.
But
I don't hate it, but I understand why you'd want to go to A.
Yeah, okay, so Cat didn't have a clear way to bring the bomb over because Ida was unaccounted for. So it's still a 50-50 going to be, right? Because Ida could still be there. Whew,
yes.
Yeah. Well, it's a bomb plant, and Cat also very brave on the swing. Portugal play it well. Big round from Caddy Jones.
Uh-oh, blowing the smoke. Cat not ready, but she still adjusts. Zana's not been able to fire off her AWP whatsoever in this first half. And now it's the same mid-round. Zia trying to walk through the smoke with Nikki, but a flashbang's being set up. Instead, they're all in the smoke. Yun's run through, but Zia turns back around, deals with D7 first, and now they've traded places. At least Team Portugal know that these players are in mid, and Ida's walked through dark, and that means it's going to be a quick lurk. Yeah. It should be fine. They can just walk mid.
Fine. Okay, the city's left, so that could have gotten really out of hand.
This is still weird, though, because I don't know if Saucy Patty's aware that they're in A main.
She's not. Look at the way she's playing. She has no clue that they're right here. She's about to find out, and at least gets a kill, and the info. So that's definitely worth it. But not ready for her to be that far progressed. Zia gets called out. Ida's being a nuisance. This is scrappy, and she's looking for another. Can't quite get it done. It's on to Caddy Jones. Again, on to Caddy Jones. A swing and a hit, and another massive round from Caddy.
Yeah, but that should, again, that's another round in which Slovakia shouldn't be dropping. Especially when they trade places in towards mid. The fact that Salty Patty is able to get one of those kills out on A main, they eventually do deal with Ida. It's a 2-on-1. They should be ready for a player rotating over to be towards Heaven or towards Camera. This is very scrappy. And suddenly it's Team Portugal that are winning all of these sort of like divisive and decisive clutch moments that were going against them in that first half on Dust 2. And this, again, will then play into sort of like the frustration of Slovakia. This is really tough. And suddenly, where you're not piecing these rounds together, where you're not putting the bomb down, you're going to be constantly in this pendulum of, here's a fall by, fantastic. Oh no, now we're on Tech 9s. And it's going to keep going that way until you break the cycle.
It's again this T-side from Slovakia, like what we saw in Dust 2, where it's just taking them so long to find the answers. These rounds coming so close. So many that they're going to look back on and think, oh, what could it have been? And we expect the T-side on Anubis to be where teams do most of their work, even if both these teams have clearly shown themselves to be more favoring the defensive half. Just going to try the Tech 9s onto A. Utilities set up. Cool re-smoke, actually. Where'd that come from? Camera. Bursting in, double up on the side, one in the AWP as well. Zana fires off the shot, smoke wild, D7 gets a double. But double goes back the other way. That's an AWP dropped. Maybe Cat can pick that one up. Yun is close to the smoke, wants to burst through it, and they've got a flank in the hands of Ida. Oh, just flashed through, actually. Getting aggressive. Maffy, another kill. And the Tech-9s, furthermore, the flashbang over. They know where Ida is coming from. She has to get past the AWP. In the hands of Cat. Missed shot. Nikki so low. Cat, difficult to support, but Ida isolates it. And another 1v1. Ida versus Cat. Smoke 4. There's a kit there right next to the bomb. And she can just stick it. I think she knows. Cat swaps to the AK and it's a defuse right in front of her. Ida clutches up 1v2.
Yeah, this is ridiculous now. Again, it's another round in which that should never, ever, ever be going in favour of Team Portugal. And it is. And you're right, Lucy. That flashbang came over from A main. Team Portugal weren't ready to go through the smoke at the same time. The fact that Maffy is blind the entire time and is able to get into a position where she's guaranteed a trade is still fantastic. You really think Slovakia, if they've done it, they've knocked it out of the park, they've made it work, they've broken the cycle with the Tech-9s. And yet, it doesn't come into fold. And Portugal have got away with another one. How many more can they keep getting away with?
I think it's enough, the ones that they've gotten. That's what, 3 rounds that Slovakia probably should have won. Or at least were favoured to, for various reasons. An opening kill for Zia. Really nicely done. The Flames to force her into the peak, straight into that AWP. Losing 2 players on B means D7 starts to get curious, and the response from middle, oh, this is collapsing.
No.
2 opening kills for Slovakia, and now they're the ones on the back foot. In fact, it's just Nikki, the sole soldier for Slovakia.
This is heartbreaking to watch. A 5-on-3, and then that's the first kill they've got since those double openers. Nikki, this would be a massive clutch. Yun is low. This is still very winnable. Zana's holding the line. So Nikki can't cross into camera, but she's creeping up close. Will drop the smoke. So it'll be a timing shot out of Zana. Nikki makes her way through. Has to worry about A main. Needs to be careful of anyone close in. But Portugal will let her have the plant. And now she can go anywhere.
This needs to be a clutch that goes the way of Slovakia. Portugal got a group, and this is a great post-plant position from Nikki. There's no way for Portugal to isolate this. And they're going to feel so exposed. Entering in. Well, the AWP swapped over. Zana has the rifle. Zana swings, and it's another round going the way of Portugal that just comes down to the wire. Another one that's going to sting.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, though. That one's played way better by Portugal. Just swapping, making sure that Zana's the one with the rifle on high HP. You're using Yun as bait, and that's exactly how it plays out. There's no way to go whatsoever after Nikki guarantees that first kill. What a retake. And this was all contact. This was just getting ahead of all the utility. And then D7 activates on that lurk. Portugal are in cruise control. 7-0 in this first half. 7-0, by the way, on CT side Anubis.
Yeah. It's a 7-0 that it could have been a 3-4. That's the thing. End of the day, resilience is what matters. And again, okay, an advantage. 2 players down on B.
Just go
Cat
in.
catches
There's no
D7. You can't lose this round.
They're not going in. It's because Cat's going to lurk A. They're expecting the rotations, but look at Ida.
They've been so bruised and battered by these rounds they've lost that they're losing that confidence, that conviction.
Yeah, but Ida can now walk all the way in towards A main and kill Cat. And that should be the accelerator now for Slovakia to go into B. The thing is, if they group and they go A, they can't. You need to go B. Okay, they will. And now the confidence, even with no util, they just run in. That's wild.
I'm holding my breath.
So am I.
Smoke. Good. The utility. They're not even giving us a look in on Portugal. With how close all these previous rounds have gone, they want to keep the weapons. So Slovakia will finally break through, get that T round they've been desperately searching for, that has been within touching distance for so many occasions, will be theirs.
Good, look, sort of micro here as well. Like you're speaking about the save, but just the way that Yun runs is that I'd have got the kill on Cat at A main. That's probably the safest rifle to come and pick up. So now that's an upgrade. So just making sure that you're playing the margins. Nicky's so close to potentially meeting Ida, denying that rifle. Instead, it doesn't happen. Will be the force buy-in, and it's looking pretty decent, to be fair. A lot of M4s, one MP9. I'll save it when we got like more of an eco round, but I'll tell you about the time I played Ida on Anubis.
Okay. I'm interested to hear that story. Having a great map. I'm gonna see again a blow on this. Zia was lying.
What?
Wait, how does the okay? So I think the dink is like the dink, and then the MP9 finished the job.
No, it wasn't. It was D7's nade from A.
Oh, I see. Perfectly timed. That's cool.
Because she got the assist, I was thinking, well, how's she done that then? But yeah, no, the nade landed straight flush on Zia. That's 2 openers now for Portugal. It looks like it's going to be the B finish, but there's 2 defenders here. In fact, make it another one. You see D7's on the massive rotate in towards CT.
Salty Patty's just so disconnected from this. They've made sound cues. Caddy Jones free to swing off D7's contact. She'll do it. Salty Patty not even present in this round and might go down, and she will. So as soon as Slovakia break through, Portugal respond in kind. Yeah,
that's really nice. So there was a blow on the smoke. There was a nade over from A that landed straight on the stairs. But the MP9 getting that kill is wild. 8-1, disrupting momentum, keeping the streak for Team Portugal. With the potential continuing their journey from what looked like a really unlikely scenario. They now completely flipped it on its head, and that is why we love Counter-Strike so much, because anything can happen. Lurk Smoke misses. Zana also misses her mark. This one's a bit more defaulty. Ida looks to get curious and gets punished this time by Cat.
Yun got a lot of damage early on, so it should be scrambling out of there. Oh no, she's actually gonna stick around. It's not expecting another Higashi. Got an opening kill. Salty Patty's gonna sell presence on A with the smoke for the cross. That's just gonna keep a body rooted, and that body is the AWP. Don't give up a kill. You just need to stay here. In fact, might not even matter. So we do see aggression into B.
Oh no.
Salty Patty.
What?
Oh, she should surely get this kill. At the very least, she's locked you in, but yeah, it is hers.
Yeah, there is this flank. In fact, there's 2 flanks. So you got Salty Patty on Zana, which Zana is aware of. Oh, okay. Doesn't matter. And then you got the D7 one from B main. She'll give this a go. Because why not? First kill is hers. She knows another player is really deep all the way back at spawn. But Zia makes it so that doesn't happen. Maximum rounds Slovakia can get is 4.
And that was almost enough on Dust 2.
True.
But will it be here? even if they can get to that score to begin with. Although this round should be Slovakia's. Please, I'm begging you, Slovakia, convert this one.
This doesn't feel like the right moment for the Ida story. I'm scared.
No need to be scared.
Okay, good. Yep, everything's okay. Oh. How did that not do more damage? Doesn't matter. She's cooking. Oh, she still gets the kill. But, more importantly, Slovakia have found that third.
They were something decisive and quick like this on a gun round, whether it would have worked. We didn't really get to see it, and I don't think they will in the final round. Hey. Kind of slightly see-through. Fading. Okay. A ghost. Alright. Deep. CT smoke to stairs. Blown by Salty Patty. A good flashbang forces Katajirians back. Change of util in middle. Oh, looking to peek the line. And will be rewarded. That one's too easy for Zana.
It's interesting. They're now not fighting really aggressively here, Team Portugal. They've not gone for like an A main push like we're used to seeing. They've not really gone for the water push from Ida. They're just playing pretty reactive in this last round. Zana's now being very dynamic with the AWP, and they're leading all through her again. Very much what we saw in D2. Oh, Flick, not quite converted into the kill, but it's more than enough damage. Goes for a second bite, but instead gets taken down to less HP than she would like. Meanwhile, Ida's trying to fight Salty Patty. Slovakia reset into mid.
Yeah, I think there's still 2 players on the A side of the map, and you got the fast rotation from Zana to Temple. She is smoked up, so can't get active. This is the fight, though. Salty Patty wins her trade immediate. But now the acceleration. And Cat in mid catches that lurk, but Maffy falls with the bomb. Yun is the one thing keeping Portugal in this round, as you see Zia is so low. Cat's going to have to do most of the heavy lifting. And time is an issue. In fact, it might even be it, because both of these CTs are grouped up with that bomb. You're going to have to fight into it. You're running out of time. Slovakia, you need to go. There's 10 seconds remaining.
Why is Cassie
You can't win.
Away?
You've taken too long. It's done.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, you're right. Okay. I'm mistaken as well. Cassie Jones running away is just perfect. So I forgot she's CT because they've swapped positions. But yeah, pretty much her running away just guarantees the round, because even if they get that kill on Yin, they can't pick up the bomb and go. You're completely spot on. That's wild. That's a 9th for Team Portugal. And now they are mere rounds away from knocking out Slovakia. And what a sucker punch this would be. Typically and historically, they've been trading these pistols. And my God, Slovakia need this one.
Fast in. 1 for 1. Cat gets hers, and she's got the dual Berettas, looking for more damage being inflicted. A lot of it. Zia chimes in for 1 as well. The pistol might just be there. Such low HP. Surely no chance at all. And Cat with a quad kill. We'll get that 4th for Slovakia.
Yeah, Cat played that really well. Just made sure that she was only like presenting a pixel for Team Portugal, and then the spam was just fantastic out of Zia. So they needed it, they got it. No bomb plant, no money. Another heavy investment of SMGs.
Well, it's a little eco from Portugal. It's a little update, Brandon. Denmark 2-1 Czech Republic. This is the other lower bracket games. So Denmark stay alive. Czech Republic sadly won't go through. They've been playing really good Counter-Strike too. And after it's this little flash play, I'll see if I can rattle off the rest of them. Romania 2-0 Turkey and Norway 2-0 Serbia. Those 2 results, I think, as expected.
No.
Ooh,
No.
that's not good for Cat. Good Molotov. Maffy can't get overwhelmed. Needs to stand strong, and she has. 3 kills. Enough, you think, with Nikki stepping in. Nikki with the double. All good. They recover, pick up the rifle, and a lot of SMG kills.
Yeah. Yeah. They did. They did recover. Well held by Maffy.
Oh my god. So Denmark on map 3, Ancient, 13-2 versus Czech Republic.
Wow.
Ramsden, 22 for 4.
Oh my god, okay.
Masterclass.
She's a beast. Fast mid. Oh, but Zia stands tall, underneath all the pressure and in all the utility. Ida will trade. They know Zia is still locked in middle, but she gets out just in time.
Portugal going to reset, and Slovakia are going to be wondering, where are they getting up to? But I like this reaggression from Maffy. She's just walked out. Caddy looks like she's going to clear it. That's precise. You imagine that's going to be them wanting to take this space now. Cat falls back to a more passive line where she can still be a disruptor, but isn't exposed to multiple angles. She's going to rely on her teammates who have pushed out A to support, but D7's ahead and is scaled into Dark, although actually does get shot at. So they're fast on her heels, but the smoke, they can't get involved. But Cat's found the double up. That is massive from Cat. And even another one. She is doing everything right now. And it's Ida, 1 versus 2. Good HE. Further damage. A tap on the bomb. A swing from Zia. And Cat will get that to Fears.
How's she done that then? How on earth has Cat found those kills? We'll have to see in the replay, but that is an exceptional hold because there was so much pressure being applied. Even the clear from Catty Jones, but Cat, just on the sides of the smoke. Denies the progression from Portugal, and that's all off the back of Slovakia pushing Dark really aggressively because that forces Team Portugal into Cat's line, and she's already set up on that angle in the first place. Really well communicated. And it means that they're doing it again. And we might get a repeat of Dust 2, but going the other way.
The thing is, trying to think about all those rounds that Slovakia could have got on that T side.
Yeah.
They could be in the lead right now.
No.
At the very least, this should be like 7-8 for them.
No, actually, yeah, maybe they would be in the lead, actually.
There was 2 that they definitely should have won. And a 3rd that I think they could have.
And that would have probably broken bank a lot more as well.
That's true.
Right.
Like the ramifications. But it's not over yet. Slovakia in a good position to get onto 7. Put it within 2.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Tech 9s. Oh. Well timed on that smoke. My goodness me. D7 was lurking. But look, you got Zia, Maffy, all on B.
And Cat. You've literally got your 3 best players on this bomb site right now.
Yeah, good luck, Portugal. No flashes, no util, no nothing.
The hell's this view model? That's so big. Deagle looks huge. Ooh. D7 looking for it. Zia, double up. They will find Maffy, but now you gotta get past Cat and Zia, and good luck. Not gonna happen. Only losing 1. That's fine.
All right, then. 2. 2 the difference. Zia, no AWP AK on CT side. Zana's got hers. That's uncontested. We've not really seen anything from Team Portugal over towards A. So we might start to see that potentially being worked into the default. Instead, it's mid flashes being lined up for a peek on the angle. I think Portugal are really trying to respect the way Slovakia play because they know they're going to push extremities. So they think they're going to have space in mid. Nikki nearly gets caught out by Ida.
Oh, so many of these engagements. You can see the scrappiness, the damage being done, but the kill's not found. Slovakia are lucky to have these players alive. Maybe they won't be for much longer. How does Nikki win that one? Reduced to very little, but it's enough. Good timing on the redeploy of the smoke on B as well, because you can see they're setting up to split. Maffy has Cat on her way. They're already up. Flame's going to keep Cat at bay, and Cat's removed. Maffy only good for the one. A 3v3, and remember, Nikki is low. Smoke comes in at the right time, blocking off these players. Bomb to be planted.
That was a really good timing on that exec. We'll come back to it in a minute. D7 living on a whisker. Zana just about gets out of B main, but now needs to be careful of CT. Yun spots players. D7 swings, but there's Yun for the trade. And suddenly, Salty Patty on 17 health. Might still give it a go. Not with that incendiary. She's out of there. And that's really well done, again, by Team Portugal. Got a comment on that mid round, because what happens is Ida gets really aggressive in towards mid, sees Nikki right at the back, sees another player in camera, knows that they're pushed off mid, which means Slovakia needs to react. And because they've been pushing outside, D7 has taken contact over towards A main. They know guaranteed there's 3 players on mid and A at that moment, so they just crunch B. And they do it with such pace that they're not ready. And Cat's even fallen off to try and reset and help out mid.
Yeah, then Cat forces her way in as well, right? Because Maffy needs to be bailed out, and Cat can't get anything done. That comes down to a knife's edge. One of those fights, you know, onto Yun, if it goes the other way, you could see Slovakia winning it. Yeah, double digits for Portugal. And if Slovakia lose this one, they're broke. This is the round.
Oh, what an angle. From Catty Jones. And that is a heavy hitter to be removing as well. Huge nade on Maffy. And Maffy even dealt with as well. Catty Jones has unlocked B. And look at D7. Now she's going for a trademark lurk. It doesn't matter if that kill comes in, because keep your eyes on D7.
Yeah, that's the lurk that wins it. If Salty Patty wins that 5 vs D7, it's a 3-on-3. Slovakia have a way back in. They can respond. They don't need to evacuate B, but now it's done. Both these players have been drawn over to find D7, who's gone. She's in beach, walking around CT's spawn. And Slovakia, the most they can save are 2 weapons. One's a FAMAS, okay, upgraded to an M4 at least. Portugal within touching distance.
That is trademark. Firstly, Catty Jones, right? Those 2 openers were absolutely disgusting. The first one on the pixel angle hits the headshot on Zia, and then anticipates there's going to be a double layer in there at B main. And Maffy hasn't moved and hits the instantaneous headshot. And then from there, D7 knows that she's got the space. And that is what she does. Like, that's what she's been doing for the last, 2, 3, more, 5 years of her career. Having these lurk timings. It's such a really good way to open up B main. It's so surgical.
What do you do if you're Slovakia? You're forced, right? Yeah, you kind of feel the necessity to do it. Because otherwise you're giving serious point to Portugal. And you know these rounds are winnable. You've done it already.
I don't love it, but I think you're right.
There's another M4 on the ground. Oh, no, sorry, it's not.
No, Cat died at the very end.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. But you still feel that you have to.
Yeah. You do, because you've been here before where you've been playing for OT. Every single time you play for OT, it's 13-11, it feels like. First in group stage, now in the second map of this playoffs. And here in the third, Slovakia find themselves in a very uncomfortable situation. However, look at Maffei. At least there's a lot of space out B main, and Slovakia now knows it's probably going to end A, so they can rotate really fast.
Yeah, why not? With the lesser weaponry, it makes a lot of sense to reinforce one bomb site and try and stack it. Oh, they're going back mid instead. Smoke's going to be deployed, so Salty Patty's position known, and the smoke doesn't go quite wide enough. They're just going to burst in. D7 actually still takes one down with her. And that's going to be it. Series point for Portugal.
I know it's against Ecos, but what a game from Catty Jones. 19 and 12. Ida's stepped up massively as well. Felt like we've not even really said Zana's name.
Yeah, well, it was 6 kills. But, 25 or whatever on the map before. So
Cat's trying. Cat's on 20 kills.
Well, this is the Slovakia I saw, against Bulgaria, for instance, where Cat's doing so much.
Yeah.
That it's got to be the team.
Could just fall apart here. This is much faster. 2 players in water could complicate things here because the bomb's got to make its way through, but Zana's already accounted for 1. Oh, but there's the bomb dropped by Cat. It is a 2-on-4. It can get still. Maybe a little bit more complicated, especially with Maffei in this smoke, but look at all the space that Portugal have got.
All right, Maffei's got a kill. So Neke picked up, but the problem is bomb's about to be planted on A. Now,
yeah,
let's run around and has a good timing in middle. But misses it. Don't know if there's a kit at all on a body that can be picked up, but let's see. 2-on-3. Zana low. Utility lacking. Zana got a good angle, actually. That smoke's almost going to help her out. There's the shot onto Cat, and there's the final kill. Portugal will eliminate Slovakia and stay alive in the running for one of those final spots.
Yeah, and to be fair, well deserved, especially after that second map where they come back down after being 8-4 and they're able to convert it, and then Anubis was a bit more of a shutout. Cat tried her best. We also got to add the caveat we did for Anna yesterday is that team doesn't play Anubis normally. So she's playing a map she's uncomfortable on, doesn't really know too much about. She's top fragging on the server. So very impressive from Cat. I think Slovakia should be proud, but I know right now they won't be because they'll be feeling very frustrated that they didn't do it in 2.
Yeah, that's the thing with Slovakia. First of all, they could have been straight to the upper bracket with those 2 close 13-11 games that they lost in the group stage. They could have been there instead of Team France. And honestly, if they're in that upper bracket, there's a real chance they could have been already qualified to Riyadh. Instead, they have to go through the lower bracket. They win their first game. This one was always going to be one of the toughest. Portugal, when they fell down here, are one of the favorites in this lower bracket when you look at these teams. And yeah, it's a really rough one to swallow for Slovakia because this could have been done in 2. Dust 2 could have been theirs, and they could be on their way to the next matchup. Unfortunately, not to be the case. So yeah, it's an upsetting outcome, but some really great moments from the team, and I think Maffei in particular is a real revelation. I'm really impressed with what she's shown.
Yeah, of course we've got the highlights as well we can put forward and just show for this final map. But you're right. Look, I feel like Maffei is a name to kind of just learn. I think Catty Jones is another one where you can just learn it as well because she was fantastic in Anubis. Absolutely brilliant in finding a number of opening kills, providing a lot of impact towards the tail end of this game and keeping Portugal in the running. They deserved it at the end. Mirage was not good. Like, I will be completely honest and I'll be brutal. Mirage was not a good showing from Team Portugal. That one was really scrappy. It felt like they threw the game away. Dust 2. It's their map pick. First half doesn't go to plan. They stick it out together. They bring it all forward, and it looks incredible. And they go on towards Anubis, and they put out a statement piece in that first half, and it's just too much for Slovakia to handle.
Yeah, I mean, it's a statement piece, I guess. Yeah, it is. You look at the numbers, it is. But It's two things. It's Slovakia just letting rounds slip that they shouldn't have, and it's individuals from Portugal finally actually thriving in the chaos that they weren't thriving in on the previous maps, right? That's the difference on Anubis. They're the ones that capitalize on the craziness when it comes to the mid and late round, where you're in these weird 3-on-3s or 2-on-4s or 3-on-4s, whatever situation it is. Even when Portugal were on the back foot, they were able to catch Slovakia off guard, and maybe that's some discomfort from some of these players on this map. Maybe that's Portugal having a deeper pool and able to exploit that. Whatever it is, it showed in the server today, and it was enough to give them such a massive lead that even though Slovakia start this CT side comeback, they just didn't have the platform to get going from.
Exactly that. And I'll tell you what, this game reminds me a lot of that second map between Team Denmark and Team Belgium, where Team Belgium, you think you swap that name out, you put it in for Team Slovakia. There were so many of these rounds that they should have won, and they just couldn't. And if they go the other way, then we're looking at a completely different outcome. Instead, we're looking at Team Portugal building on their momentum, making sure they punish Team Slovakia for allowing them to get on this third map in the first place. And now they're within a really short distance away from qualifying to Riyadh.
Yeah, so they'll be going up against Norway in the next lower bracket game, and that's a really interesting one. Obviously, we won't be going into that today. They'll have a day to recover. Our next games of the day are going to be the upper bracket games. We're going to have France, Spain, and Sweden, Poland. Sweden, Poland, the game on your stream. So come back in a little bit, and we'll be jumping into that upper bracket game.